Good morning, Snobby. Oh. Morning, Ralph. Ah. Yeah, he went to bed early last night, Ralph did. It's morning time again. So what's everybody up to this? Hopefully a fine day wherever you are. It looks like it could be rainy here today. Mr. Snubby. I got it. Yep. Came in the mail yesterday. Just haven't opened it up yet. Not yet. I'm gonna soon. Doing it soon. Ugh. Haven't woken up yet. Not yet. I see. It's not. Hmm. Yeah, not much of a chat yet. Good morning, Carol. How are you doing today? Yeah. Yep. A little bit chilly here this morning. Not too bad. I don't think it's cold. I think it's just because it's damp out. Rained all night last night. Looks like it may rain some more today. Good morning, Dusty. So, it ain't really chilly. It's damp. Makes it a little chilly, I guess. I don't know. So, good story. I got my dark magic coffee in the coffee pods, and instead of using them, my wife bought me a bag of dark magic coffee because I just wanted to make several cups so I don't have to keep making. And I opened up the dark magic, and it was whole beans. And I don't have no grinder. Morning, JJ. Thank you, Carol and JJ, for sharing it out. Pew pew. Okay. Oh. Oh. What the hell did you just do, you moron? I did something that made the chat disappear over on YouTube. I had to reset it. Oh, what to do today? I know I gotta go to the dump later. Other than that, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know. Just maybe I'll do nothing. Maybe I'll scrap. Maybe I'll nap. Don't know. Good morning, that's all. Oh. Oh, those are dirty. 8 3/4 minutes. Okay, then. Good morning, Laura. Who's gonna be the first one to click on the link today? They should have a penis emoji. You can come on up anytime you want, Laura. Doesn't matter if you wash your hair. Doesn't matter if your hair is dirty. Doesn't matter if you're naked. Doesn't matter. uh, Now that's funny, Mess Hall, because that came up in the live chat of the StreamYards, but it didn't come up in the live chat of the YouTube. That's weird. Very strange. He isn't? Okay. Now, see, they're doing something because I know Mess Hall was blue. I absolutely know he was. So they're totally doing. Just like R5. I was pretty sure that R5 was blue too. Good morning, Deidre. So that is strange. Hmm. Probably another 3 hours, Gaffa. I just got on, so I'm usually on about 3.5 hours. Unless something comes up and I get off earlier. Or stay on later. I don't know. But I just got on, so I'll be here for a while. And it looks like his device error connects. That JJ wins the race, but his device isn't connected. Oh, there it is. There it is. Good morning.
Good morning. I beat Snobby.
No, somebody else is coming up. Who's this? Has got to be the Mess Hall.
What's happening?
Having some coffee. It's warm enough in here, so every time I take a drink, it steams. I mean, it's cool enough in here, so every time I take a drink of coffee, it steams up my glasses.
Morning, Dusty. Morning, Laura. Morning, Deidre. Gaffa.
Gap is in the house. trying to get Laura up here, though. She says, you know, she might look like a drowned rat because she's got her, just washed her hair. I got a perfect hair dryer. 1,500 degrees.
She wants her hair dried, not burnt off. Uh-oh. Snobby, Dusty's been cracking the whip on Snobby. You go, girl. Don't take no crap.
You kinky. Y'all
That means,
kinky.
that means he can't come out and play.
My playtime's going to be short. I got to do some running around this morning.
Yeah, I got to go to the dump later, but that's open all day, so. Oh, Nikki Pink made morning coffee. Good morning, Nikki.
Hey, Nikki. Hey.
She
Nikki's in the house.
she either has been going to bed early or she hasn't been to bed yet. One or the other.
I think it's the latter.
Yeah. Yeah. Could be.
I watched that video, JJ.
What? Which one?
Chirp, 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 chirp.
What video did you watch?
Missy.
Oh. Yeah. I can't wait to hear the whole story about me and what she was thinking.
Oh, her Who Did I See This Today video?
Yeah. She said,
watch it yet.
yeah, you got to watch it. It's kind of interesting because she was not sure if she wanted to subscribe to me in the beginning. And then there's a whole Cinderella story behind it, she said.
Oh. Well, I don't know, but there might be part of it that is to do with another YouTuber that I guess you don't get along with.
Uh-huh.
But I think Missy's kind of like me, and she went off and ventured off to see what it was all about and not going on the word of one, because as we all know, you can be friends with two people on YouTube if they don't like each other.
Absolutely.
You just stay out of it, don't ask questions, and don't listen to nothing.
Right.
Because I think you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know.
I'm friends with her. I'm on panel and stuff more with you, but I just know there's something that happened somewhere along the way. Don't know what it is. Don't really care. That's between you two and has nothing to do with me. So.
Yeah, I've said it before. Mike is friends with that person too, and I don't hold it against anybody. You can't stop people from who they like.
Right. And honestly, she's never said nothing to me about you either. Just said that she doesn't come on my. She doesn't come up. She comes in and she says hi to me and then leaves. And well, that's also her choice.
Yep.
You know? But she welcomes me. She welcomes anytime I go in there. I go up on panel. She welcomes me just fine. And stay out of other people's business, folks, and you will keep a lot of friends. And that's all there is to it.
That's the moral of the story.
And just because somebody, and you can do it the opposite way too, just because somebody is friends with somebody doesn't mean you have to be friends with that somebody, because maybe you don't like them.
Right.
So. They excuse you. Coming up, Nikki? It is more, you know, you're a little bit addicted to YouTube when you set your alarm in the morning so you can get up. I almost didn't set it, but I knew if I didn't get up until like 8:30 or 9 o'clock at mess hall, I'd been crying that Maine-iac was late.
I gotta have something to do. I've been at it 4.5 hours already.
Well, then get on screen. We don't care what you look like, Nikki. We don't care.
I thought you was talking to me.
I know. I think he is.
In the morning, I'm going live at 3 a.m.
We don't know what mess hall looks like. We only ever see him from his eyeballs up. He kind of reminds me of the neighbor in Tool Time.
You talking about home improvements?
Yeah, the neighbor.
Where you see Tim?
I got up at quarter of, set up the computer, and then made my coffee. It actually worked out good. Set it up so that it sent it out, and did my coffee and all that, and sat down my coffee like 1 minute before it needed to go live.
You know, I don't plan to sit this low, but my chair, I guess the shock blew on it. It's an old chair, so it won't stay up. You can raise it up. You'll set it. You'll go.
It's become part of your persona now. We wouldn't know what to do if you sat up.
He's like that guy. You know, what was his name? That neighbor that would look over the fence. That was that show with
Home improvements.
Home Improvement.
A little bit of deja vu here, mess hall.
Did you just say that?
Did you have your your earphones like off? Because we just had a whole minute conversation about that.
I was typing, and like I told Lane last night, either I read or I'm typing, and I don't hear them.
That was funny. Yeah. I actually thought you lowered it down so that your banner was visible in the back.
No, see, I started out. But as I sit here, it'll just start going.
Yep. Ralph must still be in his robe. We got another 3 minutes and 16 seconds before Snobby gets up here. No ladies want to come have coffee with us this morning.
I hadn't even made me a cup yet. I'm still eating.
I
had 2 cups already.
I'm on my first, and I don't normally eat breakfast, so.
Yeah, I got up at 5:30, and I've been drinking coffee and didn't want to get out of bed.
I got gravy and biscuits and sausage and eggs and grits.
Oh, I don't know about grits. I had them once, and they made me ill. So
I love grits.
Mm-hmm. Some people can't cook them, Maine-iac.
Well, it was at a restaurant I had them. And what it was is they said it was best because I'd never had them. So, you know, so I asked how I would want them, and they said, well, it's best with just butter. So I put butter on it. And if I remember right, I didn't like that. So I added a little sugar to it. And then I ended up getting sick anyway. So I don't know if it was the grits or not, but my brain associated it with grits the same way as I was in the South on my motorcycle trip and I ate a whole bunch of boiled peanuts and they were delicious. And then I got really ill for 3 days. I actually thought I caught the flu, but just the thought of boiled peanuts now makes my stomach roll because my brain associated it the night before I had ate a bunch of them. So
Boiled peanuts. Yeah. I had spicy ones too when I lived in Florida. Off the side of the road, some guy sells them. They're really good.
Am I gonna have to send y'all those?
I can get the spicy ones here, but
I like my grits. I put a little bit of butter and honey on them.
good morning, Aaron.
But my sausage and biscuit and my eggs gets Louisiana hot sauce.
See, if I'm going to eat breakfast, it's when I get up really early in the morning, and usually it's during hunting season. I'll eat breakfast, but it's egg, sausage, bacon, toast. Other than that, I go to Tim Hortons and get me a sausage, egg, and cheese bagel. But really,
Superman.
yeah.
Let me see that Tootsie Roll. My chair is slowly going down.
You know, that video you sent me of the Storage Wars thing, that was crazy.
It was, wasn't it?
I can't believe he threw her to the ground like that.
oh, I saw that one.
I like the guy sitting on the floor. He's like, so tell me this is fake.
No, that if you watch the story, he actually got fired for that one.
I didn't like him. I mean, I laughed every time. Yep.
Yep. I will bet you money that when E-Waste makes an appearance today, that's going to be his name. Yep.
Good morning, Snobby.
Hey, buddy. How you doing there, pal?
Morning, man. All right.
Morning.
Oh, God, I ain't stopped this morning.
I heard the whip's getting cracked.
Yeah. Been very, very busy. I've only just stopped.
So, now that Snobby is here, I'm going to do mine a little bit differently. Everybody else has done a unboxing video. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna unbox it live.
You do what you see fit.
I want to unbox it live with you here and Snobby in the back. And Dusty in the background. Got me pretty envelope, folks. If you can read my address upside down that quick, more power to you.
He's gonna open it now.
Go ahead. That just means you
Can't
can
wait till Christmas.
No.
I see you wearing that Italy hat there, Snobby.
What hat?
Italy.
Yeah, it's, when my daughter goes abroad, she always manages to find me a cat.
I think abroad means different things over here.
Yeah, she's been a few places.
November, Aaron.
I think the most exotic place you went to was Aruba.
Jamaica.
Yeah, very nice.
Ooh, I want to take you to Bermuda. Bahama,
Snobby.
come on, pretty mama. Key Largo, Montego, JJ, why don't we go? We'll
Very
get
nice, Maine-iac.
and we take it slow. That's where we want to go.
And the coup de grace.
JJ down the Kokomo.
What's up, Philly?
Morning, Spicy. Boy, Snobby does know how to rap something up, doesn't he?
I didn't know he was a rapper. What you got there, Snobby? Is
Straighteners.
that a chi?
Some straighteners. Look at them looking. Look at them looking. Look.
What brand is it?
Mini.
It says
Knife needs to be sharpened.
Style Studio. I mean, I can't keep using a plastic fork all the time. I thought, I'd have to do something a little bit,
Don't NBA does that to his beard, don't he?
What, straightener?
Yeah.
Good morning, Gil. Just see you popping in, brother.
Yeah. Are you watching this?
I'm Gil. I'm opening a package from Snobby Scrap Picker.
Yeah.
I want to try it.
I'm opening it live.
No, that's fine. A nice fresh coffee would be nice, though. Been so busy, this one's got a bit cold.
Oh yeah, now I got a return address. That's cool. One that I can understand.
Yeah, I never turned mine on, though.
Oh.
I'm looking the straightness.
Hey Gil, don't forget 9 o'clock tonight. The Gil Skills special on Behind the Channels.
I'm not running upstairs to get the straightener.
Got me a
Don't know.
Union Jack. Isn't that what it's called?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
correct.
And another set of stickers.
Oh, you didn't get 2 sets, did you?
Yep, I did.
Oh, crikey. How have I made such a stupid mistake?
Dumbass.
I don't know how I've done that. I think because I sent him a set in the envelope, and then I've sent him another set. Duh.
Could be.
Duh.
Could be. And now,
Oh, it's upside down.
it's upside down.
Oh, it ain't. Yeah.
And
Low roll.
Loo roll, did you say?
That's what it said, Lou roll.
Loo roll.
trying to get the film off the front of it there. And mine is really cool. It's that reflective color you see on license plates, and it's white.
Yeah.
Nice.
And you've got a bit of edging around yours as well. I think
Yeah.
that's the only one.
Very cool. Very well. Mine was printed out by the machine, correct?
Yes, I believe it was, yeah.
So that's why mine's probably a little bit different. And the white is the front license plate.
That's correct.
Very cool.
Very nice.
Thank you very much, Snobby and Dusty.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that. That's something I've always wanted, was a European license plate.
Yeah, we can stop going on about it now.
Put it down. Shut up.
Yeah, on the back, mine says 3M reflective sheeting.
Yeah,
So
they're both reflective. The like the orangey yellow one as well. They're reflective.
Oh, you mean that one?
that's cool.
Yeah, the one we can't see.
Ah, mine's white.
Mine goes on the back of the car. That's where my ass is at.
Good morning, Granny.
Yeah, hello to anyone in the chat that I never managed to say hello to.
Get her done, Granny.
Well, what you can do with that, Errol, right, is you can put some string around your neck and tie it to it. And if you ever get lost, people know your name.
Let's put my address on it over here.
That's it.
My home address.
That's it.
Very cool. Very, very cool. Thank you.
All right, your time's over. Sit down.
Now I got to figure out how to display it.
Yeah,
Go
you
ahead,
know what?
JJ.
Ooh,
Go ahead,
that's
JJ. You can talk now. It's your turn.
I don't have anything to open yet.
It might turn up today.
LL. Yeah, if it does, I'll do mine on my live. Well, you won't be there, so I would actually make a video.
No, you do what you need to do.
Yeah, that was part of it too, so that he could be right here. Him and Dusty could be right here when I opened it.
Otherwise, your video content becomes a load of mail calls. And, you know, when you've seen someone do a mail call, you know, it's all right if you put another 10 videos up. Oh, yeah, I must have put them inside. I won't do that again. Anyway. Yeah, you don't want to have a lot of mail call videos, do you, really?
You sent me an extra set from my wife. That's all.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And even if that's what we'll say.
Anyone in the chat there that's like one of them nameplates, you know, they're probably about $39.99 post free. No, I haven't worked out nothing yet, but I mean, for 10 of them, 5 orange and 5 white, it's about £26 post free from eBay. Then the lettering, you can only get maximum of 8 letters in one of them plates, and that's about £2. And the postage is about £10. So I've not worked nothing out yet, but if I know MD Outdoors said he'd like one, and Nikki Pink said she'd like one as well, but I haven't done nothing yet.
What I would like to do with that, but I'm not gonna, because it would end up getting ruined, was I'd like to put it on the front of my truck. Is what I'd like to do.
Are you allowed to?
No, well, we can, but we have to put them under our front license plate because we have to display 2 plates here. But we can get plates, so they have to be displayed under or elsewhere on the front of your vehicle.
All right.
What's up, Hard Life?
We don't have to down here. We got is one plate that's on the back.
Yeah.
Down here, cops know better than get in front of you. Good place to get run over.
And PayPal, cool.
It probably won't be long before you do have to have a plate front and back, because the amount of speed cameras, you know, that catch you from behind and from the front as well. Terrible.
It reminds me of a joke. There's this cop trying to pull his car over, and his car just keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. Finally, after about 60, 70 miles, at high rates of speed. They got him surrounded by several cars and got him stopped. State trooper walks up to the window, started talking to the guy, got his information. He says, "Sir, why did you not stop?" He said, "I've been trying to stop you for miles." He said, "Well, it's like this." He said, "About 8 months ago," he said, "my wife run off with a state trooper. I thought you was trying to bring the bitch back."
Yeah, I've got a little joke like that as well. Let me get it
Good
right.
morning, Myra. It does say arrow.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I think so.
No, Myra was asking. Which is my name? My
Earl.
Errol. He wants a roll.
Give her a roll, mate.
my stepdad grew up for years. She called me Airwool.
I thought y'all was saying arrow for the longest, like a bow and arrow.
Oh, Errol.
Just checking something.
What is that name?
Flynn.
What is that name?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what my father was named. That's what I'm named. That's what I named my son. That's my grandson's name.
It's possibly Michaela watching or anything, JJ?
No,
Definitely not.
definitely not.
Is there a chance she might watch this back or something?
No, not at
Right. Well, me and Dusty are going to do one for Michaela as well soon.
all. Oh,
Yeah, we will.
I get Earl, Harold with a D on the end of it, and Harold are names that I get called.
God bless America.
That one's going to Michaela.
And
Yeah.
actually, Errol is an actual derivative or a deviation or whatever of Earl. It's and it also means white knight.
See, I knew it had a meaning. It had to have a meaning. Ours is Lee. My great granddad's name was Lee. My granddad's middle name was Lee. My dad's middle name is Lee. Mine is Lee. My son is Lee, and my grandson is Lee.
Yeah, my whole my family is all like that, anyways. Like my dad was Errol. I'm the second. My son was the third. My grandson's the fourth. I got one brother that's a junior. And I got my grandfather was Oscar, my uncle was Oscar, my cousin is Oscar, my other uncle and his son are senior and junior. My grandmother was Elsie Marion, my mother is Elsie Louise, and my sister is Elsie Rose. So it's kind of like a family tradition to name your kids, even if you're girls, after each other. So. Well, my middle name is Wilfred.
My name's Daryl. This is my other brother, Daryl. You ever seen that show?
Yeah, Newhart.
Newhart. I thought of a show too last night. What I was watching, I saw it. Lady,
Hi, Lucy.
Designing Women.
I like that.
Who's that lady played on Murphy Brown, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Played
I
on
saw
Murphy
her on an episode of Reba last night.
What time did you cut it off last night?
Not long after you left, about 15, 20 minutes after you left.
I I seen Monica came up, but she was very low. I couldn't even hear her.
I was must have been tired again because I went to sleep shortly after got off. I went upstairs and been tired a lot lately. Oh, what happened? It was at 19. One of these days we're gonna hit 20 in this damn morning coffee chat.
Oh, it ain't bad, you know.
Now 16 is pretty good for a bunch of old beards sitting around.
I hit 24 at one time.
Yeah, I hit 21 yesterday. Pretty much kept it at it's between 17 and 19.
That's gotta be metal. It's not?
No, that's me.
Air raid.
Oh,
They
no.
do.
The British are coming. The British are coming.
What's up, Shanette? Yeah, we get that if there's a fire and every day at noon it happens. So
First one of them I ever heard, I was out in Indiana and they were just doing the test of their system, jumped the living shit out of me. We don't have them around here.
You do hours at lunchtime on Mondays.
yeah, when I first heard it, I jumped out of my chair. I'm like, what's going on? Between the freaking air horn and the train here.
Well, I figured it was, I thought of mess hall because, he's more south and they tend to have like tornado warnings and stuff around there. So that's what I was thinking. And I was like, a little bit late for tornado season.
Yeah. Biggest tornado we ever had here was November 20. I think it was November 29th, 1989. I think it was. F5 come through here, demolished everything. That day it started out, it was sunshiny and 80 degrees. A rainstorm blew in, tornado hit, weather dropped below freezing, and it snowed all in the same day.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I used to watch that show on TV, but I like the YouTube ones better now because they're like more realistic. They're not buying $20,000-$30,000 units. They're buying $200-$300 units, and a lot of times finding absolutely nothing in them. So
Yeah, I've noticed. I've watched zero TV, zero programming. Everything is YouTube.
yeah, with me it's either Netflix or YouTube.
Yep.
Yep, lots of pretty ladies in the house, but none of them want to come up on panel.
I thought Claudia might be around.
Not this morning. Not yet, anyways.
The one with a parrot on her shoulder.
She has a parrot?
Oh, not Claudia.
I don't know that one then.
Is that no?
That's Snobby's cousin, Angie.
Angie, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Angie, that's it. Yeah, sorry. I get mixed up.
Yep.
Oh, come on, Granny. You can come on up if you want. You know you're always welcome.
Yeah, Granny.
It's not nighttime.
Going to get a coffee. Be right back, folks.
Yeah,
Shall I
but
say-
she does her videos in the daytime, doesn't she?
yeah.
You know, it's no
Yeah.
excuse. But it's him, isn't it?
Yeah, that would be him. That wasn't me.
Playing with Candice's toys.
I sent you something on WhatsApp.
Have you?
Yeah.
I'll have a look in a minute.
You'll love it. You should show Dusty too. She'll love it.
If it's anything rude, she won't.
I tell you what, if she don't like it, I'll buy you gas home.
Buy me or what?
Buy your gas home.
Gas home.
Yeah.
I only put a full tank of diesel in Friday. About 60 quid.
Shit, I filled up. What is it? I filled up 2 days ago. I'm already down to a quarter of a tank. I fill up about 2 or 3 times a week.
Really?
Oh,
no.
yeah.
For the amount of driving that I actually do in the car, that £60 gives me I had a little bit in there. It weren't a quarter of a tank. But that £60 now will last a month. Yeah.
Shit.
I took and filled my truck up the other day. The light was on, and it took me $52 to fill it. That's snobby.
Yeah, I've got the living room window wide open. Very warm and muggy.
What the hell? It sound like Fast and Furious over there.
Yeah, well, we've got a racetrack out here. Because I live on an avenue, it's quite a long road, and they can really get up the speed.
I thought the Autobahn was in Germany.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit here in the dock for a bit.
In the dock.
Yep, in the dock.
Dark for shame.
You're out of here, Ralph? All right,
Ralph.
buddy.
See you soon, Ralph.
Oh, Ralph is here?
Yep, he was getting dressed.
Lies, I tell you, lies.
Hey! There he is. Different strokes, eh?
What you talking about, Willis?
He looks pretty laid back there, doesn't he?
Oh, man.
Shernette's in the house. Okay, I think I'm gonna do something with these today. I'm gonna trim it down. I don't think I'll shave it off. I think I'll trim it back.
I came this close last night to taking my clippers and just shaving all this side stuff off and just leaving a big goatee. This close.
You're gonna do it. Make a video.
Yeah.
My forehead
I
is dry. I gotta do work now.
wanted to show you guys something with the beards. When I used to grow out my beards, what I used to use to get that fine, OCD kicks in and you want that fine line. Let me
But
see.
then I was in Jimmy C's panel last night and some chick in there goes, "Ooh, hunting and stuff." He's hottie with that beard. So I was like, you know what? I'll leave it.
No, sure not. He's not going to bed. He's probably running off to.
So this is what I use when I shave. Let me flip this camera. This is my shaving equipment, right? Clippers, good razor blade.
Oh, that's that old school stuff.
Yeah, then there's nothing better than this. You're not gonna get anything better than this. Especially the blades are cheaper than buying those stupid Gillette stuff. Then, of course, to fine tune, I use single edge. Then to shape up, I either use this or I use this. You can't see that. I use this. Can you make it out?
He's got a protractor for his face.
It's not a protractor. It's actually a beard. The other one's the beard buddy, which, damn, I got to show my face close up. I don't want to scare nobody.
No, I've seen it before.
You take it, you define it, put it on your face, and you get that nice tight line. This one has for, if you just want to make straight edges and whatnot. That's what I used to when I had my beard. It takes me so long to shave that it's just like today I got to shave. That's a good hour of shaving right there.
I ain't got time for that. That's too much work for me.
Your shaving's like a damn geometry exam.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, flat stuff Earth. That's enough of the flat Earth stuff. We really don't want to hear it first thing in the morning, please. So, 1-1.
What was that?
Oh, they're arguing about if the Earth's flat or not.
Yeah, so
I know there's a lot of guys in the UK now that have that straight line lasered and it don't grow back.
I use a pair of clippers and I go, and it goes away, and then the story.
Yeah, I do that for quick shaves, but if I want to give my beard a different look, sometimes I do the square, sometimes I do the rounds.
He gone. He gone.
Oh, he gone.
I was going to do that, but I didn't know. Oh, I seen that one. Okay.
Yeah.
I would have cursed that then if I seen that.
Somebody cursed at you?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's been in here before, and JJ asked, and I said, nah, let him ramble, because nobody was paying attention to him this morning, but he was causing chaos in the chat this morning, so he gone.
Yeah, no, definitely. I didn't even see it. Sorry, I can't do anything when I'm on the phone.
Oh, no, that's fine. That's fine. And actually, if I hadn't been paying attention, or if I'd have had it overlap like I do sometimes, because it didn't pop up in the YouTube side, it only popped up over here on our side, and
yeah, if I would have seen him, I would have taken him out the first time. I give no chances.
Well, like I said, he'd come in and would spew his stuff, and I didn't pay attention because nobody else was paying attention, but he was causing a little chaos in the chat. So,
well, most of the time it's tricky, like when you made a mod, because you don't know how close or how cool the host is with a person that might be rambling like that. So just to kick them out without even knowing.
The other day,
I've been on Jay's stream, and just the other day, and there was some guy doing something, and I text Jay first to make sure it wasn't, a good friend of his or something before I kicked him out.
That's what Jay did. He texted me and said, you okay with this? And I'm like, yeah, he's not bothering anybody in the chat, so let him stay. He's just giving me watch time, but yeah, he was starting an argument over there. So
I gotta run. I gotta start my day now. So I will see you gentlemen later.
Alrighty, Jay. I'll be right back.
Take care, Jay.
You too.
Yeah, I gotta start redoing my resume. Figure maybe it's time to start looking.
Well, I think, it's a very, very, very fine line being a moderator on someone's channel, and because every hosts have different views and opinions on things, and unless they leave something in their about page that they are not tolerating absolutely anything whatsoever, it's only one sentence, anything that you don't like, I'm not going to like, sort of thing, then I'm cool with that, because eventually one day I should be going live, and Dusty, and I would expect any moderator that if they're not happy with it, I'm going to take their word for it that I wouldn't be happy about it.
Yeah, I don't get insulted easy or
Offended.
but if or offended easily because I'm so used to stuff. But if I find something really insulting and offensive, I figure that's like a times. If I get insulted or offended, I can imagine everybody else. So I just take them out automatically.
Yeah, see, like swear words, cussing words, or anything, rude words. I've seen many of things in chats before. Like, I don't really want that. Not that it's a problem, but I don't want it.
Well, with me,
Yeah.
what happened was I just asked him to stop, but he up and where'd it go?
Yeah, then he started cursing.
Oh yeah, he popped up with this immediately after I said that was enough. So
Oh, really?
he went bye-bye.
Yeah.
I pressed troll, I had to block. Woohoo!
Welcome to the big leagues.
Actually, I didn't think he was a troll because, like I said, he'd been in here before, but
Yeah, that's why I was surprised. I was there like, he cursed at you?
nobody paid attention. Nobody's ever paid attention to him, so I just let him ramble. Hey, he was getting me watch time, but he was starting to argue with Bubble Vis is a dedicated viewer and always in here, and I'm not going to let that happen.
Yeah, once I said he gone, I went back to the chat room to check, and then I saw the cursing. I was like, oh, whoa.
So
I don't quite know what Dusty means by that one because she's upstairs, probably ironing clothes or something. But I know she's one for, like, if you judge and be judged.
My motto is judge and be judged.
Yeah, that's what Dusty's saying in the chat now. But I don't know what the other two words are.
me either. I don't know why it's
probably a curse.
there's a lot of stuff it's automatically not coming up in YouTube because that FU did not come up on the YouTube side, and I don't have any Nightbot or anything like that on there. So maybe YouTube is updated and doing their own little not putting certain things out there or something. I don't know. What's going on?
Guys, it's the 9/11 anniversary thing going on over here.
Because
they're making it a law that every grammar school and high school gotta celebrate or give remembrance to 9/11 during school hours.
I agree with it, but I don't agree with it. I agree with it.
I don't agree.
Good thing. I don't agree with it because they have taken away Pledge of Allegiance. But
yeah,
and it's the same thing. It's just being patriotic. So why should they have to do that? Well, it's only
you shouldn't be forced to do something you don't want to do when it comes down to it.
Right.
I don't care what it is.
And it's only one day a year, so I guess that's different than every morning.
But you know what it is, man? There's a lot of people out there, especially, okay, fine, the first year or so, the first couple of years. There's a lot of people out there that went through that. And I know, I know a few people myself that their brothers and whatnot passed away. They want to forget it. They want to, they go through the year and they forget about it. And then comes this day and then they get all depressed again. And you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like, I know what they're trying to do, for the people and whatnot, but some people just want to forget. They don't want to keep reminded every year that this happened on this day.
Yeah, because it's not only like the Americans that affects, it does probably affect, me as well, because, that particular day was quite a bad day,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you know, I never lost no family in it, but it's still like I'll never forget it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, so
I didn't lose any family. I don't even know anybody that lost any family in it, but you know,
well, I know a handful of people because it was literally, it's right across the Hudson River. It's, from where I lived. So a lot of the Jersey, especially Jersey City cops, which my wife works for the Jersey City Force, um, were also first responders. They sent a lot of people over to New York. So that's how I end up knowing. And they themselves tell me, oh man, I gotta go through this again. I gotta be reminded of this again, and oh yeah, nothing like hearing coffee pour in the morning.
yeah, but it sounded like you were peeing.
Nah, I would definitely mute and take the camera out.
Hmm.
It was a good stream in Meso stream last night. Yeah, I ended up going over to Everything Spicy. Went up on his for a little bit when my stuff was acting up. I
Yeah,
was actually making a mug cake.
I just went to bed. A little too.
Well, my little one didn't want to go to sleep, so I had to stay awake.
Yeah, European.
Been trying to work on how to set up the computer on my work table downstairs without it getting in the way of when I'm scrapping. Also, so my work table is not that big. It's not like Gil Skills that takes up like half of his garage and wraps around and looks like a sectional.
Anybody is welcome to click that link and come on up. Good morning, Brian Edwards.
Morning, Brian.
Morning,
There we go.
Nikki. There's a few people out in the chat room also that I gotta get information from for some stickers that are the usuals here.
What, Granny? I have friends whose flight was planned and she didn't take one of those flights. Wow.
Yeah, I think what because Dusty's got quite a few stickers now, and I think what we get her to do and then she can do a special one for Hard Life. Then
No, you don't need to do all. You don't need to do all that.
well,
Let me tell you that your address is gonna take up like most of the envelope in the front.
letters.
Yeah.
I looked at the address like, how do I even begin to write this down?
I cough and hawk. Yeah. Yeah, you hear that. I hack and cough too. So
I mean, if you was to if you had a printer connected to your computer, you could write that address out and then print it out in like small, like
Yeah.
and then just stick that on the envelope.
Yeah, no, I know. I was just I'm assuming Dusty was the one that sent me your guys' address. I saw that
No,
address.
I'll do everything.
I was there like, what is this? This is like a poem right here. It's like a short story. This address. Yeah, but as far as for everybody else that's gonna get stickers, not to or we say diss anybody. I gotta go through certain people that get it first before I can give it to everybody else.
Yeah.
But there are a few people in the chat room that are definitely gonna get one, and Whispering Cauldron would be the first one out of the chat room that would get one because, you know, what she did for me.
Mm.
Hi, R5. I was just reading what you put down.
A book. A book. It's not. It's just an address.
Yeah, we just think it's weird. Even in Canada, they have letters in their zip code,
Yeah.
and it's strange because we have nothing but, you know, numbers and numbers. So
The trouble is, right? Even our posters still get it mucked up because we've got a letter here that's got the same door number, right? But the actual road is completely different. It's about, I think it's about 500 yards away. Yeah, on another road. But because it's got the same door number, it ain't even the same name. But because it's in the same sort of town as well, it's come to us.
No, Nikki, I'm not gonna forget you. Definitely won't forget you.
Nikki is unforgettable.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart. Monica's another one I gotta get in contact with also.
Good morning, Eileen. How are you doing this morning, darling?
Helene, hello. Bubble Viz, hello.
Hi, Eileen. Hugs, as always.
Guild Skills, R5, hello.
It's a Maine-iac
Yeah.
morning. Woo-hoo.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to get like a double screen going when I hook up my computer, so I can have a chat side and then the stream side.
All right, alrighty, mess hall, not a problem, brother. Mm. Yeah, I don't know what's on today's agenda. If I want it to be a lazy day or a productive day, or
It's your day off, your first day off from work, right?
yeah, I don't have to go back to work till Sunday.
Yeah, I always make my first day off. Like I had the weekends off, Saturday and Sunday, and I would always make the Saturday the lazy day, and then I would actually do all the like yard work and housework on Sunday.
See, back when I worked 5 days a week, Sunday was all my lazy day. I didn't do nothing until after the NASCAR race on Sundays.
Yeah. See, I picked Sunday to be the taking care of everything day instead of Saturday, because if I had to go out for whatever reason, there's less people on the road, less traffic, less of a headache with the drivers around and stuff like that. Because everybody's doing the same, having a lazy Sunday or at home barbecuing or whatever.
Yeah, but I
So-
have nobody. I don't live in the city, so
Yeah.
problem for me.
Well, I live in the suburbs,
Oh, dear.
but that's the way I did it.
No, I'm not frozen then.
No.
No,
I thought I was frozen.
you rotated there for a second and then you came back.
Oh, awesome.
Ugh.
Speaking of shaving, I gotta shave myself.
Yeah.
Gotta keep it clean cut for work search. So when I go to Lowe's and get my welcome to coming to Lowe's job.
10 more days, Gil. 10 more days. That's something I got to do today. I got to go out in my shed and find my sleuth box.
Let it go. Let it go.
Yeah, good song. Now you got me thinking of what I gotta do. What should I do first?
My problem is I sit around thinking about it so much that I end up not doing anything.
Been there, done that.
And that does happen, but I do know I got to do my dump run today. That's a definite.
Yeah, maybe I
The
should.
old movie from The Burbs. Yep.
Maybe I should do that. I should start piling my stuff up that's gonna go out. The Burbs. um. Well, my wife works.
Yeah, Gappa. Yeah.
Got it done, Granny. My wife works graveyard, so usually her father comes over. Like if there's a time difference between me going to work and her coming from work, and he takes care of the kids till she gets home. And then one of them is in school, so she only have to deal with one. And then I take over when I come back from work, so she can get rest for work.
Good morning, Gaffa, or afternoon, or evening, or whatever it is there.
Gaffa.
Hey, Gamma.
Am I right in thinking Brian Edwards is Smokey?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it is. I think that's Missiles, mate. I'm sure. Oh, well, I'll say hello to Smokey anyway, just in case. Who's this bloke turned up?
Gaffa's in a car.
I don't even see him in the chat room. He's not popping up on my chat.
Gaffa, he's not in the chat room. He's right here in the stream with us. I think he's frozen, but.
Oh, okay.
Right. It is. Yeah, it is.
No, got it done, Granny. I would never put them in daycare. Never. Well, I don't believe in other people taking care of my kids. No one takes care of your kids like you take care of your kids yourself.
There he goes. He's unfrozen now.
Hey, Gam.
Gaffa.
Are you driving to work or home?
Home.
Home?
Home.
Oh, drive safe.
Good morning, living yes.
I generally don't like talking to people that are driving. It's like drink driving. You know, I wouldn't want you to be involved in any type of thingy, yeah?
Well, he's not reading.
Well, don't talk to me.
That's no problem.
Just ignore me for a little while.
Yeah. How long have you got?
About 40 minutes.
Holy
right. Okay.
That would drive me nuts. I got up late yesterday. I got up at 7:45. I need to be to work at 8, and I was still 5 minutes early to work.
I'll put it this way, Snobby. Talking to you on this thing is no different to talking to you in the passenger seat. I ain't going to look at you. I'm just going to talk to you.
Yeah, I know that. But if there was anything to happen, right, and it was like serious,
And
that would be the first thing they do, and you'd be in trouble.
Yeah, little Granny. I'm a little bit protective, especially over the oldest one, but I just don't believe in other people taking care of my kids.
Yeah, neither do I. No way in the world. I'm not giving anyone my kids.
It's no different from eating a burger or drinking a milkshake while you're driving. You know, there's a lot of things you shouldn't do, but many people do. And
Are you still talking to me?
No, I'm talking to you. You're just
getting
listening.
reprimanded.
Look, you've stopped at traffic lights now, haven't you? Or behind a car.
Yeah, I'm just listening to the radio. I talk to the radio as well.
Yeah, they just think you're singing along with music or something.
It's just usually the radio doesn't give me smart ass comments. I understand what you're saying, Snobby. I totally agree with you. Stop talking to me.
Thank you, Granny.
Yeah.
Now, I would say something about it if he was actually like holding the camera up and trying to talk to it, but he's got it set down on something and he's just, you can see he's concentrating on his driving. So
Yeah, but it's not 100%.
Probably more so than if he had somebody in the car with him.
Well, the bottom line is, if that's a big concern of yours, then Snobby, don't buy a 4-seater car.
Bless you.
Well, it's the same thing as listening to the radio. He's right. It's the same thing.
Lori's Crochet Corner. Good morning.
Yeah. And you know what? You're absolutely right, because I've been caught speeding twice. And the first time you lose points on your license and you also get a fine. And then if it happens very quickly, you then get an opportunity to go on what's called a speed awareness course. And on that speed awareness course, you will not get no points on your license, but it will cost you triple the amount of the non-paying fine that you get with the points. And when you actually go on these courses, you learn the reasons why speed and driving with not 100% causes.
By the sounds of it, you've been in these courses, Snobby?
I've been on one of these courses, and it's not that. It does make you a better driver, right? It's as simple as that. Yeah, I mean, certain types of music that we might be into, like it could be any type of music, but you're into the music, you're well away with it. You know, you're tapping the steering wheel. You know, you're really enjoying yourself. You know, that has taken so much of your concentration away from a lot of things. Straight away.
I already know who's coming up next. Good morning, Gil, and I already know who this one is just by the name.
Good morning.
You would hate driving with me, Snobby, because I have about 1,700 watts of power coming out my speakers, and that thing does never go low.
Yeah.
If Dusty Blonde is listening to this right now, and you're in the car with Snobby Scrap Picker, and he says one word to you, you give him hell. You give him hell.
So what you're saying is your speakers are so loud you're distracting the other drivers as well, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep.
Snobby,
But I actually got to get them installed.
you're absolutely 100% right.
It is true. It is true. There's a degree of distraction no matter what you're doing in the car other than driving.
Yep.
Here you go, then I'll go back to listening to the radio.
See, I don't really play the radio in my car, so that doesn't distract me, but I'm constantly looking on the side of the road, and especially when I see trash out there to see if, so hey, maybe somebody got done.
I do the same thing. It's almost instinctive. Second nature.
And that's all E-Waste Ben's fault. It really is.
Yeah, but everywhere there's trash everywhere. Where he goes, it's like driving through a freaking flea market.
No.
I would love to seriously just spend a day with him, because it's like being at a flea market.
Seriously, does anywhere but E-Waste Ben do you actually watch an hour and a half of somebody going through somebody else's trash?
Grab the pallet, man.
And what's his name? Big Country Scrapper does the same thing also.
No, but E-Waste Ben, it's Gaffo dropped off. E-Waste Ben,
I'm gonna be frozen this time, and surely.
It's just the amount of stuff that's over there. I watch it in awe of the things that people throw away over there.
Mm-hmm.
I think he says that they do that every like once a it's like certain days they could only do it, or I don't know how many times a month they could only do it. So I guess that's stuff piling up in people's houses that when that day comes, they can finally get rid of it.
Yeah, I know, but like here we got cleanup day, which is September 28th. So I got to remember that. We have cleanup day here, but we have to take everything to the dump. where everything we want to throw is free. Refrigerator, anything we want to throw away is free that day. We have that twice a year, but we have to take it to the dump. It's not.
The only thing we have to take to the dump is stuff like paint, oil, gas, or whatnot. We take it to the DPW. Everything else they'll pick up. Heavy trash day, we get it once a week. You can throw anything out on heavy trash day except recyclables and regular trash.
See, we don't have that up here, but I mean, they might in some towns. I don't know, but around where I am, you either put your trash out beside the road, but it has to be in bags or boxes for the trash man to pick up if you want to pay for it, or you go to the dump yourself. So, but it's just me, e-waste, out of awe of the things that get thrown away over there. And it's like, oh, a set-top box. Oh, a set-top box. Like everybody there, they getting rid of their cable or what, and just throwing out their cable boxes. Really have to burn them.
And DVD players.
Yeah. And here, if you decide to disconnect your cable, you have to return.
Yeah, over here too. Or you get charged for it.
Yep.
And they charge you like $400 or something like that for the boxes over here if you keep them.
Yeah, they charge $10 a month here for the box. Well, I had a big DVR one, so they charge $10 a month for that. And if you don't return it when you have your cable disconnected, they continue to charge you $10 a month until you return it.
Well, I'm sure, I'm not 100% positive, but I'm pretty sure that the rules and regulations regarding all types of scrap in the USA change dramatically. That being refrigeration, scrap yards will no longer be able to accept them. And our scrap yard stopped it a long, long time ago. And I've already noticed a couple of changes. Beforehand, they could straight off their box truck, but now you place them in a certain area of the scrapyard, right? They've got to be dealt with in a much more professional way, rather than just being thrown into the shredder and mixed up with everything else because of the insulation foam in there. So, in the future, I reckon that in the US, right, you're going to have proper yards that only deal with refrigeration units only.
Yeah.
And that being the way, I mean, it's been in the UK, it's all to do with the environment. And that is where the issue is. It's nothing to do with anything else, just the environment. So make sure it's all done wrong.
As a scrapper myself, I wish it was a little bit more inexpensive to buy the unit needed to like drain off certain things that have Freon and all of that stuff, because I would do that in a heartbeat if it was affordable.
I agree myself.
Yeah, and also what can be done with that, like the oil that's in a unit, what can be done with that oil to recycle it? I mean, is it burnable or?
Well, over here you can take it to either a mechanic shop or one of those oil changing places, and they'll take it off your hands. If not, you can just drop it off at the DPW itself. They have designated areas where to put the paint, batteries, and stuff like that. When I go to the DPW to drop off paint, I always look at the battery section, and I always take the batteries.
Yeah, I don't know. Me, the whole thing over there in Australia, where e-waste bin is, I don't think that any Australian or the Australian government has any right to say anything about global warming or recycling or stuff like that, because they obviously have recycling centers. I've learned that from e-waste bin, but it's all voluntary. They don't make everybody recycle, so I don't think they should get a say in anything about saving the earth and global warming and nothing like that, because they obviously don't.
They also
entice
people to recycle, though. A lot of the things that would normally cost money to dispose of, they take free of charge. That's another thing to consider too. So it's easier for people to get rid of that kind of stuff and recycle. So there's a little bit of give and take, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, if you listen to Ben though, he says, "Well, I'll take this because it'll end up just in the landfill." You know, so they obviously don't make people recycle over there.
Yeah, and that's probably half the problem with the planet we live on. We do not recycle enough stuff. I mean, the amount of plastics that I'll probably go through, apparently, right, the local boroughs get around about £300 per tonne for any type of plastic that gets used at a recycling centre, you know. And so why isn't there nothing available for the scrap man to collect the plastic? I know you'd need a hell of a lot to get a tonne of plastic, right? But it'd be something which is better than nothing.
It should be an option.
For a
Exactly.
while around here, there was a scrapyard that was actually paying people for vinyl, like vinyl siding and stuff like that, that type of plastic. It was only like $10 a ton, and it only lasted about a year. And then I guess they was losing their ass on it, so they decided to stop doing it. And that was a recycle yard out in Vassalboro.
Well, I feel like in the UK, they're sort of making the scrap man a thing of the past.
So, and it's just like here, which I find funny because I've talked to the people down to dump about it. They make us recycle, but we don't have to separate everything. We just have to separate our recyclables from the regular trash, which means our tin cans, glass jars, and cardboard products and recyclable plastics all have to go separate, but they don't have to be separate. You can put all those things into one bag and throw it in the recycling bin, which is the way the town made it. But yeah, all the trash goes to PERC and gets all mixed right back in together to go through the burner. So I don't get the point.
Yeah, over here is the same. Anything recyclable, you can put it in the same bag or garbage can, and they'll pick it up. You don't have to separate plastic from cardboard from.
Yeah, you just have to separate recyclables from non-recyclables.
Yeah, same thing over here.
But like I said, when it goes to PERC, it all gets dumped in together and goes through the furnace. So
I think it was in Brazil. I'm not actually sure. I think it was Brazil. They actually struggle to get electricity. And if they've got a refrigeration unit that's really, really old, send it in and get a new one free. Right? But they've got all the paperwork and everything like that, and they wait time for it. But the old one is taken away and disposed of correctly. You know, there's a factory, or, you know, they've got them in, I think, like in Europe as well, where there's just a yard that deals with all the refrigeration stuff. And I found is that the local boroughs and councils have realised that there is some money there. So they collect it all up and then they give it to these bigger people and get paid for it. Taking the money out of your hand, and everyone's hand, so that they get the money.
I tried to obey and respect Snobby's wishes about driving and talking, but yes, it's very hard to drive and text.
Yeah.
Issue is, in Australia we do have recycling. There's a lot of places. A lot of councils that enforce recycling. They offer the bins. You're supposed to do the job. You're supposed to do what you're supposed to. You're encouraged to keep all your green waste. You're encouraged to separate all your plastics and your glass and your cardboard and all that kind of stuff. The issue is, in Australia, we used to sell all our recycling to China by the boatload. China used to buy it all. Said, no, we're not doing that no more. So now we've got all this excess recycling because we don't have enough facilities to handle the recycling. That's the problem we have. We never really planned to recycle anything because we had an option to sell it to China.
Yeah, so things need to change.
Try and tell the government that. They're all about clean up Australia and keep Australia beautiful and recycle and everything else, but nobody's doing it. There's no money in recycling as far as they're concerned, so nobody's up doing up the recycling plants.
Well, yeah, you're right. But on a bigger scale,
90% of what we recycle that actually gets recycled, there is money in doing it. There's profit to be made from recycling certain plastics and cardboards and stuff like that, because there's companies that are willing to take it by the bucket loads. But other recycling that you'd think would be normal something to be recycled isn't getting recycled. So it's ending up.
Yeah.
Good morning, Mike McConkey. Michaela's in the house.
Taylor.
Oh, Shernizzle Williams. Hi, Shernizzle Williams.
I hope in the future sorting robots will do all the sorting waste work for better. They kind of do now. A lot of your recycling will get ground up and it'll go through these machines, and they'll have magnets to pull out all the metal and stuff like that. So it does kind of get, done now, but
Yeah.
so, what are you gonna do? Each place is different with their recycling. So
Yeah.
here in the U.S., I mean, we got the scrapping centers, but and that all gets repurposed and remelted to go into other materials. But no scrap yard I know takes tin cans.
As far as I'm concerned, as a consumer, we should look at what we're buying. If it isn't in a package that's recyclable within your country, don't buy it. Don't let the retailer and the manufacturer give you stuff that you're not willing to accept. I already do it myself. I go into a fruit and veg. I take out fruit and veg. I don't take out plastic bags of fruit and veg. I buy it all separate, put it in reusable bags, and I don't, because I'm not going to use that plastic bag elsewhere. So why am I taking it?
Speaking of plastic bags,
I agree with that.
Maine is soon passing a law. They're actually they passed the law already, but the state of Maine is no longer going to be using plastic bags in shopping centers and things of that nature.
The town of Waterville already passed it. It started last week.
Yep.
Over here is styrofoam. No styrofoam.
It's the same with the straws too. There's no more plastic straws.
Yeah. Same thing over here.
But yeah, Maine started the plastic. Waterville started the plastic bag thing last week. So you go into Walmart now, and they only have one size paper bag, and you buy one thing, and they put it in a great big huge paper bag. And I've had this discussion. It is downright stupid. We did away with paper bags, 30 years? Paper bags about 30 years ago, because we wanted to save the trees. So we started
there's a bit of irony there, isn't it?
And now they want to get rid of the plastic, so let's start destroying the trees again.
Yeah.
And then they're going to complain about there's no trees to clean up the atmosphere. And it's like, you can't win.
Here's the irony. Here's the irony of the whole story that spins me out. When we had paper bags, they were free. Then they changed over to plastic bags, and they were free. Now that they don't want to use plastic bags and they need you to use recycling bags, they're charging you for it.
Yep, they want to charge us 5 cents per bag, but it's up to the individual store whether they want to actually charge you or not. Whether
you can bring your own too.
So
yeah, a lot of people do that here. They bring their own stuff. They bring their own carry bags.
See, now when you get into recycling plastic bags, I don't know about you guys, but I use them from the small trash cans because they fit right in perfectly.
Yep.
So they get reused at least once. But paper bags are used for covering up school books, and they're really, really good at sopping up the grease off your bacon. Put your bacon on a paper bag before you eat it, and it sops the grease up for you. So
you start a little level.
They're still recyclable to a point, but
yeah, I can't see why we can't use a natural, super strong, and that's hemp. That is such an incredible recyclable. But
So
they won't
smoke it and use it.
No,
No,
and
I'm just
now
saying,
they're
there is-
pushing towards the, now they're pushing towards cloth bags, but most of the cloth bags are made out of man-made material, which uses plastic to make them. So what the?
yeah. It's just
So
unfortunate our generation is the one that suffered, really.
Yeah, and now they wanna. If you prefer plastic, I guess you can get plastic, but you have to pay 5 cents per bag for the plastic, which is fine with me. But I tell you what, they better not be sticking 1 or 2 items in a plastic bag and then double bagging it and putting it in there. If I'm paying 5 cents a piece, they better stuff them bad boys.
Yep.
And paper bags, if you buy frozen goods, by the time you get home, so that stuff the frost has come out through it a little bit and got your bag wet, and you go to pick it up and it falls apart. I mean,
yep.
seriously, you can't win no matter what you do. Paper bags
Corporate
is a
never.
good thing for me because it's great because I burn wood. So if I need to fire up the wood stove, I can, I'll have a bunch of paper bags to start the stove with.
Maine-iac, I use calico bags. Make them yourself. They last for years. I've had them for like 12 years.
Yeah, my wife said she was going to make us some bags to take to the store, but half the problem is you go to the store and you forget to take the bags in with you. And really, do you want to carry around a bunch of bags while you're shopping?
Well, if you take your wife, you're already taking in one. That's what I used to tell mine. Come on, bag. I had a lady said, you want a bag? I said, she's standing right here. I got one.
Well, the thing is, I don't go grocery shopping with my wife because I don't want to spend 14 and a half hours grocery shopping.
Right.
I carry what they call a padded refrigeration bag. So all my cold stuff can go in there because, when it's 40 degrees over here, we don't want to have cold stuff getting hot. And when I go shopping, all my bags go inside that. So I'm really only carrying one bag from the car to the shopping cart.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether it's the same for you guys out there when you go shopping, but I remember years ago at the end of the till where you was paying for your products, there'd always be like half a dozen cardboard boxes that you could use for free to put your shopping in, right?
Yeah, like BJ's and Costco's does that because they don't supply bags. They just have whatever the boxes the items came in, they set them up in a big pile and you grab the ones you need.
Yep.
Yeah, well, you probably won't find a shop in the UK now that's got boxes at the end of the till because they've taken that away from you. So you're forced to buy bags if you haven't got one with you. Where you can easily put them few products in a little box and carry the box off, a recyclable cardboard box. But it's now markets. They want to keep the cardboard boxes out the back, and when they get a ton of them, they get the money back for it.
Caswell's liquidation.
Seems to be a greedy world.
Caswell's in Waterville does that, but I don't shop there because I'm a firm believer that dented cans should not be opened and ate out of. So,
but then Snobby, they have the goal to take all those boxes that the products come in, and instead of offering them to you to get rid of them, they shove them in a box out the back and pay somebody to recycle them for them.
Exactly. Or they get money themselves for them boxes. I mean, we're behind the curtains of a lot of things. Like if there's one lorry that goes around to all the big multi-stores picking up all the boxes, and he's like got a big lorry load full of them that actually works for these big companies, then they take it to the recycling and get paid for it.
I agree with Flatbed Trucker there. I actually had that conversation with an employee. I was in line one day and I was actually at work. Okay, so at work, I have to, before I pay, I have to give them the tax exempt card because we're a nonprofit, a not-for-profit organization. We don't have to pay sales tax on stuff. And I was trying to get some help, and I was complaining because the lines were backed up because they only had 2 lines open in Walmart. And then there was like 6 people standing around with yellow jackets. And I went, can somebody help us here? And open up another line. And the guy looks at me and says, "Oh, I'm sorry. Now, when you got 6 people standing there and all these people in line," he goes, "Oh, well, we're all for the self-checkout." And I'm like, why the hell do you need people for self-checkout? They're doing it themselves. Yeah, he was not impressed with me. But
That's one thing that spins me out about Audi. You hear them over the PA, checkout such and such is opening. Please, if you would like to be served, go to checkout such and such. And then they go, checkout so-and-so is closing. I'm saying, but you're busy. Why are you constantly closing and opening checkouts? Just leave them open until it's all gone.
yeah, and each Walmart is different because I've noticed that you go to Waterville and there's like 8 or 10 checkout aisles they have, plus all the well, they've shrunk it up now. I think there's only 6, but they'll have 1 or 2 of them open, and you'll have people backed up. But you go to the Newport Walmart, and the place will be half empty, and they'll have 4 or 5 of their checkouts open, and hardly anybody in the store. And it's just to keep the flow. So it all depends on how your Walmart wants to run itself, I guess.
You want me to start on checkouts? At the shops that we go do food shopping, we up until about 3 years ago, we used to have checkouts. Operators come, serve you, put your stuff through over the register, all that. They pulled out 2/3 of their checkouts to put in self-service checkouts. I went through a self-service, and there was one person there looking after all the self-service. And I turned to her and I said, "So do I get a discount because I'm serving myself?" And she goes, "No." So I picked up all my stuff and went to the checkout.
Yeah. Well, here, there's a lot of reasons you can't use, or you can use a self-checkout. But if you're buying alcohol, you can use a self-checkout. But once you ring it, put it through, you have to stand there because the light comes on and says, that you need a representative to come over because they need to come over and check your ID. If you buy cigarettes, it's the same thing. If you buy something that has the anti-tag thingy in it that has to go through the door every time you sweep something, so you might as well just, 9 times out of 10, I go through the one where I got a person there so that I don't have to deal with any of that crap.
Yeah, well, in Australia, we don't have alcohol available in grocery stores. We have proper liquor stores designed for it. They might be right next to the grocery store, but they're not part of the grocery store. And as for cigarettes, because cigarettes are such a big no-no in Australia, they're actually locked up behind cupboards, and you actually have to go to a service person to get them to unlock the cupboard to give you the cigarettes.
Yeah, you can't get cigarettes yourself here. They're always behind the counter, or they're locked up or something like that. But Maine just recently went up to, you have to be 21 years old to have a smoke, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. And I would think it was ridiculous even if I wasn't a smoker. Same thing with alcohol. We got young men that join the military at 18 years old and go fight for our country. They should be able to have a smoke and a drink if they freaking want to.
I can't argue with that. But on the same token, the young ones that don't go to military and take responsibility for lives, you don't want to be giving them that.
Frozen again, or?
Well, the one thing I do know about the military is once they go overseas or they get so far out to sea on a ship, like if they're in the Navy, it drops down but still, if at 18 they can go fight and die for our country, at 18 they should be able to smoke and drink if they so choose. So they're 18 years old, they're considered adults.
Well, that's the age of Australia. In Australia, if you're 18, you can drink. If you're 18, you can smoke. If you're 16, you can drive a car and kill other people. And if you're 18, you can join the armed forces. So, and they want to put it up to 21.
I saw your gears spinning there, Gil.
I'm in full agreement with you guys. I think it's ridiculous. I mean, 18 is when someone is deemed an adult. They're at that age, they're supposed to be able to make their own.
Yeah, but at 18, not everybody is, I guess for the lack of a better phrase, fully matured.
Well, that's true. But if that was,
you have more more adolescence in you than you do maturity at 18.
That's why the adult age used to be 26, and they've slowly brought it down over the years. So I reckon it ought to go back to 26.
But life, think of this too. I mean, if people feel that 18 is too young and there's a lot of adolescence there, why not raise the legal age to 21 or 19?
Yeah, 21 is I think 21 is a perfect age for both liquor and cigarettes, and that's coming from a smoker. Only because you got 18-year-olds that are still in school, high school, whether they got left back or whatnot. So now you want an 18-year-old coming to school drunk or driving his car out of school drunk. You can't only look at because they're in the military. You got to look at it a wide spectrum.
You've got 17-year-olds driving school drunk anyway. You get it.
The same 18-year-olds who can't drink or smoke to fight for the country and die for their country at the age of 18. And then the problem is, if you wait till they're 21, then they start to get to the stage where they're not physically the best to be training them. So you're losing all that possibility of training really good soldiers.
Just like I don't agree with being able to be a police officer at the age of 18 and 19. I don't think you got the mental capability at 18 and 19 to go out there and handle yourself against these long life criminals, or be able. I'm not saying all 18-year-olds, don't have the capability, but for the majority part, at 18 years old, that's too much. I think that's too much.
I agree with that.
In this country, some of the cops at the age of 45 haven't got the mental capability to be the police.
But as what Gil said, if that's going to be the case, then make it so that you're not a legal adult until you're 21 years old.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. That really, I mean, if you're going to classify someone as an adult, you can't take away certain privileges like that. You know what I mean? It's just, to me, that's wrong. If you're an adult, you can do what you want as an adult, but as the finer question is when someone really truly should be considered an adult. 18, 19, 20, 21. There's no wisdom there at that point. They're babies. They're just getting to learn life. They're just starting to learn things.
But it depends.
I have a question. What age are you legally allowed to
I got a job. I supported myself. I mean, I was living at home, but I gave my mom money.
Right, but you're going by your own life experience. Not you got to think about a worldwide thing or a countrywide thing. Not every 18-year-old has that mentality. Most 18-year-olds come out of high school and their first thing is, "Oh, it's time to party. I'm out of school. All right," you know what I mean? You went a different route.
At what age you're legally allowed to vote?
18.
And that's why everything else is allowed to be 18, because they want them to vote. They're going to have to give them some kind of benefits for voting. Say, oh, well, if I'm legally allowed to vote, I should be legally allowed to drink, and I should be legally allowed to smoke cigarettes. And the politician goes, you vote for me, I'll give you that.
But they can't, because you now have to be 21 to drink or smoke.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm just saying. That's where the whole idea of why is it they're 18. They're not old enough 18 to make those decisions. They're not old enough 18 to bring up children, but they seem to be doing it anyway. Anyway,
but the whole comment that Hardlife made about the cop, like being a cop at 18, 19, I totally agree with that, because I mean, obviously you make a lot of decisions based on your training, but there's decisions that are based on the wisdom that you've accumulated throughout your life too.
Yep.
And that is so key for being a police officer, in my humble opinion.
Me married to a cop, an 18-year-old just coming into the police force, and again, this doesn't go for all 18 years old, but the majority of the spectrum is more about reputation. Yeah, I'm a cop. Look at me. I have a gun. They're not out. They haven't been out to be there like, you know what? I want to be a cop to make a difference because this keeps happening and this keeps happening. Right. It's just more of a reputation thing.
I agree with that. I'm just on the whole, if they're old enough to be an adult, that means if you say that they're legally an adult, you are saying that they are legal enough to make their own decisions.
Right.
Yeah.
And those decisions should include whether or not they want to smoke or drink.
Correct.
Or gamble. for that matter.
Because they are not against the law. So it is their right what they want to do with their body.
If they're considered an adult, yeah, I agree with that. But what they need to do is change it to 21. I really don't think that an 18-year-old, because at 18-year-old, you still got, and this is what makes you what. When I was growing up, used to say what makes you a teen or still a kid or a grown up. You still got the word teen in the age 18.
Right.
You should still be considered a teen.
But if you raise the legal age if they're not an adult to 21, then you've got 3 years of a bum sitting around on your couch playing video games.
Well, that's all up to the individual.
Or 3 years of a child going to college.
Yes.
That's all up to the individual what they want to do in those 3 years.
That's kind of an if, anyways, because I know a lot of the insurance rules. My son is still on his mother and stepfather's medical insurance because he's been going to school.
He's in college. Yeah.
And you can do that up to the age of 26. Well, he's not now because he got done school last year, but up till the age of 26. So that's actually kind of a good thing. But yeah, I mean, there's a whole bunch of ifs. I just think, okay, yeah, I agree with you on the cop thing. You should, but you have to take a lot of tests to become a cop, and they check your mental status anyways. So
yeah, but at 18 years old, how much, unless you were a troublemaker or whatnot, how much, what are the chances that you're gonna get denied to be a cop? If you're fresh out of high school, you're 18 years old, there ain't too many kids, unless you grew up how I grew up, who have clean records. All you actually need is a clean record and know how to answer some questions at the psych evaluation. That's easy. A psych evaluation is easy to manipulate if you know if you know how to talk. So as long as you got a clean record, you could have a totally nut job that has a clean record, never has been caught doing what he was doing. Like, look at, for example, now you got all these cops that are getting locked up because they've been gang affiliated since they entered the force at 18. They've been either Blood or Crips, and now they're all in Patterson. They just locked up 4 cops because they were stopping people in cars and regular citizens walking and shaking them up, taking their phones and taking their money, and because they've been gang affiliated. So the as long as you pass the physical and know how to talk the psych evaluation, you're pretty much in. You know what I'm saying? So a background check doesn't mean anything because they're only checking paperwork when it comes to a background check. Yeah, they might interview 1 or 2 people, but that's easily taken care of. They're gonna go interview Gil about me. Hey, Gil, they're gonna call you in a few days. Just tell them this. All right, no problem, Hard Life. I got you. You know what I'm saying? And boom, you're a cop.
But yet, Hard Life, at the age of 26, somebody can go in and be a gang affiliated and still do the lying and get around all that stuff. That doesn't matter.
I agree.
That has to do with and not the age.
I agree. But at the age of 18, you face it, we all went through high school, and all we did is what? Party in high school, wait for the football games, get a couple drinks, go to the dances. You know what I'm saying? Well, maybe not you because you went a whole different route, but for the majority of there's more of a percentage of people that go to high school that are just enjoying their high school life. Some people obviously rather work and whatnot, because they have a straight ahead on them.
It all depends on your upbringing. It really does, because I know most of my family, when we was in high school, they might not have had actual jobs, but we were all out doing stuff to get money, legal. We was doing junking. We was working in stores after school. We was doing all kinds of things.
Well, I would say
we are brought up.
I would say it depends, on your upbringing, but it also depends on where you're living. It has a lot to do with it too. It depends on where you're actually living, not your upbringing. Because I said before in a different conversation that we was having a couple of days ago, your parents can do all the best for you, and doesn't mean you're gonna turn out great. You could turn out to be a piece of ish. You know what I mean? Or you could have horrible parents and turn out to be great
if you want to.
I think it's more of your surroundings and where you're growing up that helps you turn out of who you are.
Yeah. Good morning, Bet. Bet.
I love morning conversations.
Yeah, we'll get into some decent conversations on this show. I gotta admit,
Some good topics. A1.
they are. And
Yep.
and me, it's just I don't know. Like I said, even if I didn't smoke, I would be all for 18-year-olds smoking if they chose to do so.
To be really honest with you, someone keeps telling me every time I get on certain live streams, take all the warning labels off everything and let the idiots work themselves out.
Yeah.
There you go.
That way we might get rid of some of the people that put all these stupid rules in place, and then the rest of us could actually enjoy ourselves.
And to be honest with you, when you put a warning label or a restriction, it's just an invitation.
Yeah, and I'm not talking
It's
to a
just an
wanted poster.
invitation. Because you go up to somebody, you tell them, don't look behind you. What's the first thing they're gonna do? They're gonna look behind them.
I can tell you what, here's an experiment you can do for anybody, anytime you like. Stand in the middle of the street and look at the sky for about 2 minutes and see how many people will stop next to you or walk past and stare to see what you're looking at.
Yeah.
If you do that
Yeah.
here, if you do that here, someone
Yeah.
will run you over.
Yeah, well, you can do the same thing, Gaffa, and I've actually tried this. Just walk past people, and as you meet them in stores and stuff, smile and nod your head and see how many people smile back at you.
Or how many
Yeah.
people give you the weirdest look and then keep staring at you as you walk away.
Yep, saying what the hell's wrong with that guy?
Go like this. Go like this. You'll always get a response.
Yeah, sometimes though, Mike, the response you
Guaranteed.
get you may not want, all right?
I'd rather do this here than stand in front of the street and look up. But if you stand in front of the street and look up, it's going to be like, vroom.
No, not in the middle of the road, on the sidewalk.
It don't matter here.
Well,
We don't have sidewalks in Maine.
that's because, you know why that is, though, don't you, Mike? You know why it don't matter where you are? Because you stand on the side of the street doing this, mate.
Right. You can stand on your porch here. They'll come right up and try to get you.
I'll stop doing this and everybody will be fine.
It does though. It all because I've actually done both. I spent a couple years as a teenage drinker, but at the same time, I went out and earned my own money to drink. I didn't steal it. I didn't get it off mom and dad. I didn't do that. I went out and I went junking to earn enough money to go out drinking that night.
Yeah, well, my 5-year-old earns her own money.
So, I mean, I had my first job working on a farm at the age of, I think I was 10, because it was the same year that my mom, after I got done that job, my mom gave me a car. So that if I got another job, I could actually go.
Yeah, but it's the one thing the most important thing I have learnt in my life is work for your money. Earn your money. That way you have the right to decide what you're going to spend it on.
Yep.
When somebody else gives you money, they got the right to actually tell you how to spend it.
Well, if they give it to you, they don't.
We're talking about the government here, mate. If the government are giving you money, they got a right to tell you how you can spend it because hey, we give you the money.
And I'm not meaning any offense to people that are out there on welfare, but if you're on welfare and the government is buying your food and stuff for you, you should have to buy generic brand food. You should be required to take in coupons with you. You shouldn't be allowed to buy certain things. You should be having to buy actual nutritious food for your family.
Oh, yeah, they buy steak, lobster.
Yeah. The only problem is with that is the people who have got into a situation.
Oh, he went blank, but I know what he was going to say. People have gotten into a situation where they need help from the government. Yes, but even at that point, you're getting free money from the government, so you should have to spend it.
I know somebody that kept having kids just so she get more money.
Beyond it.
Because I know back when I lost my
business, that sometimes.
When I lost my business and I ended up, getting food stamps because I needed help because I couldn't find no work. I bought, I didn't buy Kraft macaroni and cheese. I bought Hannaford brand macaroni and cheese because it was only half the price. And I did all that to make that $112 that the government gave me each month to help me eat. Made sure that it's stretched. I didn't buy soda with it or anything like that. There should be certain things that you cannot buy with food stamps.
Yeah, well, yeah, and that's the bottom line. Is sodas, takeaways, TV dinners, all those type of things that are actually not good for you to eat, just because they're affordable and everything else. If they ain't doing you your health or your situation any better,
Right.
I mean, don't get me wrong, fruit and veg is cheap if you know what you're doing with it. It's not an expensive thing to actually make quite a few different meals, freeze them, and then have them as your own TV dinner. And
Yeah.
speaking of which, what the hell are you eating, Mike?
That's a Danish.
It's called a bear claw, but
Obviously, his throat's better.
You already ate it.
yeah, it's a lot better.
And the same thing if you got the EBT card and you're getting money in also in addition to your food stamps, you shouldn't be allowed to buy alcohol, cigarettes, nothing like that.
Yeah, of course not.
You spend it on, and I know everybody needs a pet and stuff like that, but I'm sorry, if you can't afford to feed yourself, you shouldn't be allowed to have a pet and also have that pet go hungry. Or you buying dog food and having your kids not get enough food because you just gone out and bought.
Oh yeah, when it comes to welfare, in Australia we've got basically two types of payments. There's payments for you and payments for your kids. That's how the government put it. You get a benefit per kid to help you support that kid through school, eating, whatever they need. I don't see that many parents actually spending that money on the kids like you'd think they would.
Yeah,
so. I mean, they should have better clothes than they wear. They should have nutritional food, meals. They should have bedding where they could sleep comfortably and everything else. That type of thing should be part of what should be mandatory when you start giving money for people's kids.
Or better than that, how about specialty stores that are made for people on welfare, where you have to go to these stores to buy your food, and you're not, and those stores don't have anything in them except what you need.
We've got those stores. They smell like mothballs.
Oh, well. Now, I'm not saying that. Now, in cases, I'm not saying that everybody on welfare is like that. I do know some people that need help, and they do that. They do their thrift shop and all their, they draw money off of their EBT card and they go to the thrift stores to do their shopping. Like, yeah, there are many people out there that are responsible when it comes to getting help from the government. So I don't want to put everybody into one basket, because there are some out there that are responsible with the money. So
yeah, I know, but I think the ones that are showing that they're not responsible should be at least be held accountable for how they're not being responsible, and taught to be responsible.
Right, you shouldn't be going into the store, doing all your shopping with an EBT card, and then taking it out and loading it into an Escalade.
Yeah, well, at the moment in Australia, the government's leaning towards paying off people's bills with their pension, paying their rent, and giving them food vouchers. So the only thing they can do is go buy their groceries. So it is starting to limit them to what they can and can't do with their money.
Yeah.
But it doesn't stop them from buying junk food and TV dinners and all that shit.
I was just gonna say, some people with these EBT cards, they'll go out and they'll buy lobster and these high end food. They're buying food, but they're being irresponsible.
They can buy a lobster, but they can't buy a pizza.
Exactly.
Well, what they're doing here now is, if you're on food stamps, you have to, if you're able to do any kind of work, you have to do X amount of hours of work per month to stay qualified for that, or they'll kick your ass to the curb.
Yeah,
I know, but the food stamps should be specific. I mean, you should have food stamps for vegetables and food stamps for meat and food stamps for the most basic things that you need when it comes to food. You shouldn't just have food stamps you can walk in that like cash and you just pay for whatever it is you've got at the checkout.
And
you should have specific things that you can buy.
Yeah, is people sell them. I mean, they'll sell, say a snobby ass picker over there needed some groceries. So he would say, well, Mike, you got an EBT card, so I would go and buy him, say, $100. I'd buy him $100 worth of food, but he would pay me $130 cash. That's how they do it here. But Snobby's got a big ass belly, so I can't hear you, so shut up. You're talking to yourself, dude. Nobody can hear you. Nobody cares.
Bub.
Can't hear you.
You're muted for some reason, Snobby. It doesn't even say you're muted, but we can't hear you.
He's not muted. He's just pretending he's not talking.
No, his dumb ass is talking. Look at him.
Nope, can't hear you, brother.
Oh, it's a good day not hearing Snobby talk.
Dusty can hear
Dusty, go smack Snobby.
you. Yeah, what's he saying, Dusty?
Translate for us, Dust.
Yeah. We need a translator.
You know, it's like that old saying, I can see your lips are flapping, but there's nothing coming out. Where you going?
And people said you were full of hot air, mate. You know, just.
And I got a skills and what's that other guy? Maine-iac. This guy got woke up by a phone call today. I got a new contact. I have to go clean out his shop.
GeForce Computers. Damn, we got rid of them years ago.
Yeah. No, this is a brand new place. I got to go empty my trailer so I can go get it.
Of course.
Hey, look, it's Snobby.
I can hear you now.
Right. Right. Listen, what I don't agree with is a multi-store that sells all your groceries, right, that buys in, for instance, 10,000 cucumbers a week, right? The price is worked out on the 10,000 that they buy in, but they only sell 5,000. So the other 5,000 go to the garbage, right? But we're still paying for the waste of them 5,000 cucumbers, which is absolute nonsense. You know, if we know for a fact that we're only going to sell a maximum of 6,000, why the hell do we need to buy in 10,000 and pay the price for 10,000? It's stupidness.
I agree.
We don't we don't do that here. Here in Australia, when there's excess left over each day and each week, there's actually a van that goes around and collects it for the homeless and the underprivileged and all that. And they have a meal kitchen that makes things out of all the food that they get and gives it to the people who don't get fed.
Yeah.
The consumer still pays the price.
Fine, I got no problem with paying the price for if that's what's happening with the excess food.
Right.
Well, helping those in need. I mean, you think about it. When you get old and you can't cook and everything else, someone comes around with a meal that's been paid for you by the consumer. I'm fine with that.
And it would be easy with the food stamp card, though. Basically, if when they put something on the counter, if it has 8% sales tax on it instead of 5.5%, that means it's a snack, and they shouldn't be allowed to have it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There should be specific food stamps for specific type products. Right. And once you go outside of there, it doesn't get covered by that food stamp. Anyway, saying Snobby.
But Nerd of the North, when Nerd of the North works at a supermarket thing, and he actually was like the spearhead in starting a program to where what they throw away, he actually got this group of people, and they actually go and they donate it to soup kitchens and homeless shelters and stuff like that, so it don't go to waste. But they have like the restaurants here, even like if you go downtown here to the casino, the amount of food that they throw away is just amazing. It's just amazing because they keep rotating it. They keep rotating. So if you have a half of a pan of say like chicken wings, instead of taking those chicken wings, packaging them, and giving them to the homeless or the shelters, they throw them in the trash.
Yeah, but I do know, because I've seen a show on a lot of those casinos, you have pig farmers and stuff where the food actually gets thrown into its own thing, and then you got pig farmers that come and they actually feed that food to their pigs.
Well, what I do is I just go out back and get me a free buffet. I ain't paying $23 when I get the shit for free out the back door.
And WTF, Mike, I didn't even notice that I had 9 thumbs down, but I'm assuming it's from earlier when I kicked somebody out, and I'm assuming they probably have several accounts. And just
wait, let's give you number 10.
Hey, nine thumbs down, still views. I give a shit with it. At their Australian thumbs up, all right?
Yeah, I finally had a troll that had to kick out this morning, Gil. My first troll.
See, always got to be on the positive side, Gil. Always got to be on the positive side, mate.
I wonder I haven't seen JJ this morning. Boot it.
Well, that's outrageous to get that amount. I don't get that.
I'm guessing they have multiple accounts and just kept coming in because I didn't even notice it until Mike just said it. I really don't care.
No, whoever it was is legit butthurt because they got a boot print in their ass.
evidently. Well, it was normally fine because usually they come in and they talk really.
Don't worry about it. It's just 9 Australians voting.
Yeah, they talk really weird and say these weird things, but normally everybody in the chat just ignores it and I let it go. Well, this morning they kind of got in, started harassing Bubblevis a little bit, and so I told them to stop, and then I got a big "F you, Maine," so I booted them. And
Lovely.
now I have 9 thumbs down, which is fine on me because hey, yep, I got some views.
Terrible.
Oh well.
Big Bones would like to come up.
Big Bones. Good morning.
All right, guys, I'm gonna roll out. I gotta get this ball rolling here. It's supposed to be like 87 here today.
Holy moly!
Looking good. I don't care. I sat out there yesterday. I probably lost a third of a pound.
Boone, if you want. Hard Life dropped off again, so.
You off, are you, Mike?
So, Maine-iac, Gil, Suck My Ass Snobby, and Eric Clapton. Catch y'all later. Bye, everybody in chat. Snobby Scrap Picker.
See you later, Mike.
Yeah, I love you too, Mike.
Bye.
Missy.
Bye, guys.
See ya.
So yeah, Big Boone, if you want to click the link, go ahead. Click it. Come on up. Everybody's welcome, at least the first time.
Let's have one, Gaffer.
Ooh. Well done. High five, buddy.
You want one, Gil?
Sure. I'll hold on. What the hell are those things?
No thanks. I'm not a
good
kind of guy.
Yeah, but just on reflection of the main sort of conversation and the youngsters today, right? Now, look, we all know that term of not the sharpest one in the toolbox, right? Now, you're always going to get that in life. Yeah, you're always going to get kids that are a little bit sharper, right? That have picked up on something a lot faster than the one standing next to him. And that is just going to be the whole of life as we know it. It's never going to change, you know, and that's how life will be. Some kids will pick up very, very fast. I mean, my son today, you know, he's what, 28, and he's far brighter and sharper than I ever was at that age. You know, and I think a lot of it goes down to making your parents proud. You know, I had a thing of making my parents proud when I was a youngster. And, you know,
yeah, but the problem with that, though, Snobby, is I find these days there are a lot of parents who don't convey that they are proud. So there's no incentive for the kids to go that far. You understand what I mean? Yeah. So it's not only is it do you go out of your way to make your parents proud of who you are and what you've achieved, but you, as a parent, make sure that they know that you're absolutely proud of who they are and what they've achieved, because then that gives them the incentive to go even further and makes them feel good about it. This morning, my daughter went to school as usual. Everything she does normal. She come home from school, I ring her up on the phone, we do a video chat, and the wife says, so in music class today, the teacher said, who's going to get up and sing and play their ukulele for me? And my daughter was the only one that jumped up and said, yeah, I'll do it. And straight away, I'm going, sweetheart, you make me so proud, because it's just your want to do things and to get in and learn things and everything else. And that was just enough to her to beam and go, oh, Daddy loves me. You see, that's all there is to it. As long as you're doing it, then kids will grow up to believe that's the right thing to do.
Yeah. We had this. That's the same thing with life in general. I had this discussion with my boss yesterday. We was talking about how the only time we ever hear from the upper management is when we've done something wrong, and when we do something that's good from for the company, we hear nothing from them. And
still, every company's like that. They forget that the companies forget that even though they're running a business, they're also running a family.
Mm-hmm.
And you do need to treat your kids, as it were, with a little bit of a pat on the back and a little bit of you've done a good job type attitude, because that's mostly what most people want. They don't want a pay rise. They just want to be appreciated for the hard work they put into their job.
It's like my immediate boss. my immediate boss tells me, if I do something and, without being asked to, when I do something extra, just because that's the way that I am, he automatically recognizes it and he will thank me and stuff like that. But like, I never even got a thank you for the company for this freaking camping trip that I, organize every year. That was just something I decided to do. I didn't do it for recognition, but it'd be nice to get a, hey, thank you. Thank you for doing this. But it don't. And I do a little thing like get accused of being a bully and, all shit pulls down on top of me. And it's like,
My company has what they call the Company Hero Award. So if you think that somebody deserves a bit more praise and a little bit more acknowledgement for how hard they've worked towards what, the company's all about, you nominate them. The problem is, what I've noticed is the ones you seem to see in the newsletters about who in your plant or your section of the company that has been marked up as a hero is always the ones closest to the boss.
Yep, we had the same thing. They actually stopped it. We had 4 times a year. We had person of the quarter, but the problem was they had to be nominated by a team leader, and of course, it was always the same 2 or 3 people getting it because they were the only ones being nominated because they were brown nosing with the team leader and stuff. So
well, Granny. On the same token, I understand that, and I think that's a very good aspect. My wife knows I love her, but I'm still going to keep telling her.
Oh, I'm jealous. Mike's at a bachelor party. To the view from my lake house, some very plush camping going on. But yeah, there's no. You can sum up everything in one phrase. The world is fucked up.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there that are struggling. That's for sure.
Okay, Big Bone. So that's okay, but you can feel free to click that link too and come on up if you want to join us.
Yeah, you can have a coffee with us. Come up on panel. We'll have a coffee together. And there's only one thing, one genuine gesture that would fix a hell of a lot of the problems we've got in the world. Show respect. Show respect to your fellow person just because they deserve it for no other reason than being alive. And you'll be surprised how that respect will ricochet down the line.
Yeah, I got a bumper sticker that says it all too. It says, "Save the Earth. Have your liberals and Democrats spayed and neutered."
I completely agree with you, Gaffa.
I do too.
And you want to know the one thing in this world that I've taught my daughter that I reckon shows more respect than any other gesture in the world? Saying thank you.
Yes, thank you is a big word to say.
Staying humble is a big
gesture of
deal
saying
too.
thank you, even for the smallest task, the smallest little thing that's been done, makes everybody feel appreciated and respected all in one movement.
Yep.
So, Snobby, thank you, man.
Gaffa, did you see my plate?
Errol,
Snobby, you're the best.
Yeah, what's he the best at though?
Being snobby.
Yeah, and as I say, you can't help what you are sometimes. I don't have sometimes a filter from here to the mouthpiece, and I can't help myself.
Nobody can be a better snobby than snobby.
Tell the truth though. The matter is, you do have a filter. It's your upbringing. Your upbringing tells you when you can say something and when you shouldn't say something.
Well, I would have thought so. I mean, look, I ain't going to say too much, right? But my mum was actually married at the age of 16, and she had me at the age of 16, and that is 50 years ago. Things were slightly different back then, right? Today, if a 16-year-old was to get pregnant, there's something wrong, right? But that's how it was back in the day, I suppose.
Come to think of it, mate, back in the day when your mum was 16, it was something wrong then as well. They just dealt with it better.
There you go. You know, so, and when you do have babies, there is no rule book that you buy. There's no guidebook that you buy. You just deal with it.
Haven't you looked on the internet? There's plenty of guidebooks and rule books. Everyone seems to have an opinion on how your baby should be raised.
Well, that's absolutely right, but it's not their baby.
I know that. They don't stop them from sticking their nose in, though.
Well, of course, and you're always going to get that in life.
What I get a kick out of these experts in raising children, half of them don't even have children themselves.
It's like my daughter's teacher is telling us how 5-year-olds are supposed to react to certain things. I'm going, isn't that your first child? She's pregnant. She's pregnant. Isn't that your first child? Yeah, you know what? It's just because the rule book that you were brought to learn to teach says this is how. And I'm telling you, I don't give a shit. That child over there's rule book's different to that child's rule book, different to that child's rule book, different to that child's rule book. That handbook came different with that. And I'm telling you now, you're writing it as you're going along.
Yep.
You do, because
Sure.
I can tell you right now, if there was a rule book when I was born, my mom threw it in the wood stove.
Exactly. Your mum used it to light the fire because she was cold and she needed it.
But I wouldn't trade my upbringing for the world.
No, neither would I.
Yeah, same here.
But unfortunately, we've all been through this already. If I'd done something wrong as a youngster, you know, the old man would give me a good clip round the ear hole for it. And nowadays, you can't really do that today.
You can't even raise your voice in public at your child because that's a no-no.
Well, they class that as the parents have lost control. Yeah, it's not the parents lost control. It's about disciplining your child. Your child.
No, the parents haven't lost control. The government's taken control.
Well,
you're not allowed to do things that you should do. I'll put it this way: as I said to a child welfare person who came to my door because someone complained that I was disciplining my other child in a severe way, I said to him, well, I'll put it this way: I would rather yell at my child, scream at them to get them to listen to me, than watch than run across the road and get run over by a car.
Oh, of course.
And I said, yeah, that's it. You were teaching your daughter, your child, it was my other daughter, your daughter, for the need to save her life and teach her common sense. That's fine. You were not being abusive to your child because of that reason. Whereas the person who complains that I had child abuse, I was abusing my child because I was screaming at her and dragging her around. I said, yeah, she was trying to run across the road. What do you expect me to do to her?
Sometimes
I would yell just out of fear that she would get run over a little.
9 times out of 10, that is what you're yelling about. It's the fear of what's going to go on and the panic that you're going to lose control in a minute, and if you don't get hold of it real quick.
That's one of those things you just can't take back.
I don't believe at all in child abuse, but I do believe that sometimes kids need a spanking.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but there's 2 things that I've always lived by the rules when it comes to disciplining my child. If I'm angry, walk away, because the mistake you're going to make while you're angry is not the same mistake you are when you're not. So if you've got to yell at your kid, walk away, calm down, come back, and calmly discipline your kid. And I guarantee you, every single time you'll explain to your child why you're disciplining them and why the result's coming out like that. But if you're just going to yell at them and scream, chances are you're going to hit them for no apparent reason, and then you end up pushing the child abuse boundary.
I don't know about hitting, spanking. A good swat on the ass.
I know, but when you're losing your cool and you're in a bad mood, it ain't spanking then. It ain't spanking.
No.
A spanking is a controlled, calm, definite reason for what you're doing, and it's one spank.
What I really like is those people when you're taking and you're disciplining your toddler and you give them a little light swat on the ass and they went, oh, I can't believe you hit your kid. And like the kid didn't even feel it because he's got a 2-inch thick freaking diaper on anyways.
I know, but my daughter had a diaper on every time I ever smacked her, but she knows that when Dad says, you know, that is something that you could get a smack for, she straight away knows damn well what it is, because she remembers what they felt like when she was a kid. That was enough in her mind to go, spankings are not good things. You don't want to get spanking.
Something I tried and it actually worked for me, and I tried it, and My daughter, I think I had to spank her once, and my son, I know I can remember both times. I only ever had to spank him twice. But when I got ready to spank, I got this deep daddy voice, and they learned very quickly that when daddy talks deep, daddy means business, and they knew what the daddy voice was, and they would. All I had to do was bring out that daddy voice.
Yeah.
I got the 1, 2, 3 count. If I'm serious and I get to 3, shit's gonna hit the fan, kid.
Oh,
My daughter's never got past 2. As soon as she gets to 2, she's moving. Things are flying in the right directions and everything else when I get to 2, because she knows damn well if I get to 3, I ain't stopping.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily condone spankings or anything like that, but I remember when I was a child, with me and my sister, my father and my mother would hang a belt and a paddle on the wall, and it was a deterrent. Of course, we were spanked when we were kids, but it was on the wall. It's like, this is what you got if you're too much out of line.
Yeah. My father brought us up with a cane. When you were a teenage boy, you getting yourself in the shit, mate, and he didn't want the police coming to his front door or coming home from work and have to put up with that, so he brought us up with a cane. I guarantee you, we knew where that cane was, and we saw it every time we walked through that house. We knew damn well what it was, and if he walked over to that spot, you were in trouble, because he don't go over there unless he was getting the cane.
Yep.
Would I be right in saying, right, that at some point children do push their luck just to see how far they can push themselves?
Oh, hell yeah.
Of course they do. There's a time where children are always testing to see whether or not the boundaries have moved. Because the more experience a child gets, the more you open the boundaries up, because he should be able to handle that from now on, so you shouldn't have to restrict that. And they do. They'll test to see whether or not you're still powerful enough to be able to keep on top of it. Kids will do that, especially boys with their father. When they get to that age where they think they're big enough to take you, they'll test it. That's when you make sure that they don't take you.
Big Boons, I would have appreciated a wooden spoon. From my mom, I would get the spatula. And my grandma used to like the Willa Twitches. That would hurt on the calves of your legs.
Yeah.
I
had a teacher at school that had a feather duster with a cane handle.
Yeah.
Called Henrietta.
I don't know if you can't see me still in the chat, but if he is, hello, you can't see me.
Hello, you can't. Hi, Leah.
You can't see me.
Good morning, Leah. How are you doing, darling? Didn't see you in there.
He says he gets tested every day.
Yeah, I bet he does. He's got a handful there. You can't see me right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
It's the only reason why you can't see him. He's got 5 kids.
I agree with Leah. If you are going to spank your child, you should not use anything but your hand.
No, I maintain I only spank my child for specific things. I've told her there's certain things that you will definitely get a spank. This is the limit where you will get the spanking if you need it. And she very rarely crosses it. She crossed the other day and she got a tap on the bum because the bottom line is I can't say to her, that is something that I have to smack you for, and then not smack her, because then she goes, he don't mean shit.
Yeah.
So even if she just did it, she knows she did it. She's got to get the tap because you've made, that's the promise. That's the thing you're going to do. You went over that line. This is the result. Because I can tell you right now, when a policeman pulls a person over and you've been speeding, he's not going to turn around and say, "Oh, yeah, today I'm not going to give you that fine." They're going to do whatever it is they need to do because that's what the law says they should do. And 9 times out of 10, they get paid better if they do their job.
I got pulled the other day and he didn't give me a fine.
No, I'm just saying that 9 times out of 10. You know what I mean? They will give you the fine. They will punish you the way it is. They don't give a shit who you are. They've got a job to do.
Yeah. What am I missing? There was something I was going to say. Somebody said something, but I forgot. Oh, I got spanked one time, and I remember it by my dad. And we was at my great aunt and uncle's house, and he was doing some electrical work for them. And I took a stove poker and I hung it up on some live wires, and it sparked and blew everywhere. I got my ass whooped.
You scared the shit out of him, and he thought you were going to go on that one. If you got stuck to that, you wouldn't be here anymore.
Exactly, and I know that's exactly why he whooped me. But that was the one and only spanking I ever got from my dad. Now my mom, on the other hand, you just look at her cross-eyed and she's apt to give you a spanking, but.
Yeah. See, that's one of the things I always say to my daughter. I said, when I get grumpy with her, I said, why are you going to the stage where you know I'm going to get grumpy? Because she'll do it. She'll push my buttons right up till she knows damn well I'm going off. I said, so why is it? What is it? All right, what attention do you need from me that you need me to be grumpy to get the attention? What is it I'm not doing? And then she'll tell me what's going on, and we're fine from then on.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
yeah.
not a perfect father. I've got a lot of things on my mind, a lot of things to do, and sometimes my daughter misses out on the attention she wants. And that's when she pushes my buttons, and I go, all right, fine. So, okay, you're pushing the doorbell, girl. What is it you want me to do? Because the attention you're going to get out of this, you're not going to want in a minute. And then she tells me what she wants. And oh, fine. No, sorry, I didn't mean that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or if she's just bored, she gives you the shits. And I say to her, Amelia, that is not the kind of attention you want from me right now. Go find something else to do. And she does. She knows, oh, well, yeah, but not Daddy get grumpy, and I don't want to grumpy Daddy.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. But then again, it's also up to, in my book, it's up to, I believe, stop child abuse, but it should be up to each individual parent on how they raise their child. Also,
provided
they're
that
not abused. Yes.
Parents have had some experience given to them on how to do basic parenting. I mean, I know every child doesn't come with a handbook, but there are still basic parenting rules that you should never, ever cross when you're a parent, because you are the parent. You need to be the responsible one. You need to be the one that actually shows that this is the right way to do things.
Right. And that's just to help the child. So.
Yeah, but you need those basic parenting skills. Basic parenting skills. Don't throw the watermelon at the kid when you're pissed off. Go somewhere else, calm down, come back, deal with the situation a bit better. Those kind of things. And you think that's funny, but there are some families out there that are that abusive towards their kids. That's exactly what they're like. And those are the people that shouldn't have kids.
Correct. I believe that. That's.
By the way, that's really good advice. Not throwing watermelons at kids.
Yeah. And if you do, just make sure that you scun it from the skin first.
Yeah, but then if you're taking the skin off, you might as well call it a food fight and be done with it.
That's right.
Yeah, I prefer a pineapple.
Ouch.
Skinned or not skinned?
Looks like a prickly.
Because I'm thinking getting a bit kinky now if it's skinned.
But yeah, like I said, once from my daughter, twice from my son. That was the only spankings they ever got. So
yeah, I mean, my daughter's had probably 3, but she remembers every single one of them enough to not go over that line. And don't get me wrong, I'm persistent in my rules and conditions. I don't sway from. I don't go outside of this time I'll let you get away with it. I say no. That's the rule. That's not allowed. You don't do that, and that's the bottom line. But she also has the other end of the stick, which is the reward system. You do good, you get what it is you need to get. You need, if you want chocolates, or if you want some money to go buy yourself something, or if you want this or so, you get it because you have earned it. You have actually done what you're supposed to do. Right. You earn the right to a reward at the same time. So I mean, right now I've got a reward system that's going up because her schoolwork's slipping. She's only in the first year of school, which is the reception preparations year, where you don't actually do anything and you're not getting graded. But they do have a certain expectation that she needs to reach by the end of the year, and she goes to school and she just does nothing. Absolutely does nothing. And she draws stupid pictures in her workbooks and loses her pencils all the time because she's just bored with school. So I said to her, fine, I'm putting a chart up on the wall. You've got all these things I expect you to do by the end of the week. And if you get the end of the week, you get that. You get pancakes and ice cream with chocolate syrup for breakfast. You'd be surprised how well behaved she gets when she gets that kind of treat at the end of the thing. And I have taken that treat away from her because she has missed those requirements. So she knows that there is a reward and a loss of reward. So she knows what's going on. But I also reckon if you set the groundwork for a child at the age of 3, 4, and 5, even if they're the hardest, terrible 2s and tiresome 3s and all that stuff that you got going on, if you set the groundwork, that groundwork stays there for the rest of their life. They know exactly what goes on. They know where you stand with them. They know the rules, and they know what to expect if you've done it right.
At the age of 2, they're not going to remember discipline. Not really.
It's not discipline I'm talking about. It's routine.
Punishment versus reward.
Routine, yeah, and the punishment versus reward. They will know that if you routinely do exactly the same thing and say the exact same thing without wavering, whether it's punishment or whatever, they start to learn that there's the routine that's going on in their life, and they expect it to be that way at all the time. As long as you stick with it, they learn from it. Routine has been one of the biggest things in my daughter's life. The day she was born, she had classical music played in her bedroom. And it never gets turned off. It's 24/7 in there for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
In her bedroom only. The rest of the house is, you make as much noise as you like, but in your bedroom, there's classical music plays constantly. And the bonus of that was whenever I needed to take her to work with me, because I work shift work, so I got to take her to work, hand her over to the wife, and carry on. It was her nap time. It was so much easier just to turn the classical music on the radio, put her in the chair at the back, cover over with a quilt, give her a bottle. She was dead to the world in 5 minutes. Every single day, without fail. Never had a problem putting her to bed because of the routine of listening to classical music and doing exactly the same thing every day. My wife had trouble one day putting her to bed. And the reason she did that was because my wife didn't bath her before she put her to bed. Because we bath my daughter every day before we put her to bed. And that one day she didn't bath her, and my daughter went troppo that day because she didn't get her bath. She was dead tired. She was falling asleep in your lap, but she still wanted that bath because it was her routine.
See, my mom didn't do timeout with me. She tried it, but I was, I was a lot younger than my older siblings, so I spent a lot of time by myself. So timeout didn't really bother me because it was what I was normally doing, anyways.
Timeout was, that's it. Now they've ignored me. I'm happy about that.
Yep. So that didn't work with me, but
it was the same with me when I was a kid. You want to if I want you to leave me alone, the best way I know how to do that is put me in timeout, because then I am alone. I'm happy.
Yeah. I mean, I feel there's a few things they could actually change in the schools as well. I mean, when I was at school, I was being taught a lesson like about Henry VIII. I mean, if you was to actually know more about Henry VIII now, like I do, why the hell would you want to try and teach an 8-year-old child about Henry VIII? What good is that going to do to you when you leave school?
It's nothing. I agree that there's certain ridiculous things in history that shouldn't be taught to kids at certain ages, but history should be retaught to everybody at some stage in life on a regular basis, because if you don't know what history was, you're bound to repeat it, and we've made some serious mistakes in history.
Yeah, but why would you want to learn about Henry VIII, that apparently had more than one wife, absolutely died of syphilis for a sexual disease? Yeah. Why would you want to learn about a man?
Apparently, Snobby, they're getting sexually active at the age of 8. Apparently, these days, that's what they're looking at.
Right. Well, then they should change the Henry VIII lesson and teach them more about the birds and the bees.
No, they should be stopping teaching about the birds and bees and clipping under the ear when they get the idea.
Yeah.
Well, of course. But I don't think there's enough
business of teaching kids to have babies when they're not even able to have babies. No, they're babies themselves. Clip them under the ear and say, that's silly stuff. Stop mucking around with that and get on with what you're supposed to be doing as a kid.
But then the internet comes into play with that, don't it? Because most kids now, probably the age of 8, have got a smartphone.
Yeah.
Or a tablet.
And if you're a smart parent, you've already got a smart nanny on it, so that the kids can't go see places that they can do on smartphones.
But you always get the one kid in the playground that's got the ability to have everything unlimited.
My kids didn't,
and that's where the school should be kicking their ass.
My kids didn't get a phone until they were 16 years old, and then they had to do extra chores around the house to earn it.
Yeah. I don't think children under the age of sort of 14 should even be having a phone, like a smartphone, a flip-flop phone.
But there's parents out there with money to give their kids whatever they want, and those kids are the ones that have smartphones, and they're the ones that your kid sees at school with smartphones. Oh, why can't I have one? He's got one. Try and live over that one.
Yeah, yeah. We have moved into a different world.
We have. But the problem is to be one step ahead in that world, Snobby. And you can't tell me that this day and age, you are still not one step ahead of your daughter when it comes to technology and some of the things that they should be knowing about. Bullshit.
No,
I reckon you know just as much about it you think you do as what you don't. And if it didn't, and if your daughter was old enough to be in that situation, I guarantee you'd look for the answers because you ain't letting your daughter in there and deal with that by herself.
Sure, Nat. I can't say much about that statement because I can remember my first girlfriend was when I was 5 and in preschool, and her name was Brandy, and we used to kiss.
That's fine. That is kid stuff. It's
right.
the below the belt stuff. Why the hell do we need to know that? My daughter knows there's such thing as boys, but it's not a big deal in her life. So they're boys, there's girls, and there's boys. That's all there is to it. Now get out there and play. You know what I mean? I'll tell you the birds and bees when the time comes to the birds and bees. Until then, I'll clip you under the ear if you think about them, because you're too old, you're too young. You've got enough responsibility when life comes to be an adult. Get out there and have some fun. Get out there and enjoy, and get out there and learn as much from school as possible. Except for that, don't worry. When the time comes, you will have enough of that, and then you wish you didn't have any of it.
Yeah, I feel sometimes there should be lessons at school that sort of, not too young of an age, but gets them ready for when they do leave school, and that they're going to get bills, they're going to have amenities to pay for, and things like that.
I disagree, Snowy. I think that's your job. I think that's the parents' job to bring their children up to handle life and finances and everything else. And if they can't do it, then they need to improve their parenting skills till they can.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I
think
that too many emphasis has been put on schools to interfere in the general runnings of a family, and I think the education should be education, and life lessons should come from the family and where it's meant to be in the first place.
Yeah, but that's not something you learn until you sort of, you're older. What I'm saying is, if they were taught the very, very basics of where our energy sources come from, and they need paying for, I'd rather that than listening to some teacher telling me about Henry VIII. You know what I mean? Because Henry VIII don't mean nothing to me, but facts in life do.
Yeah, but Henry VIII does mean something to you. Don't have more than one wife or you end up with syphilis. You learned that though, didn't you, Snobby?
Yeah.
Think about it, mate. There's a lesson even you learned from Henry VIII.
Holy shit.
No, what I'm saying is, I learned that as an adult, right? I actually learned more now about him than what I did at school, because at that age, you're not interested in Henry VIII at all.
I agree. I don't understand the curriculum that these education departments have got in schools these days. It's ridiculous what they're teaching some of the kids at the ages that they're teaching them. I took my daughter to school. She's in reception. She needs to know how to write her name, say the alphabet, read words that have got 6 letters in it, and colour within the lines. She's 5, for Christ's sake. Colouring outside the lines is what they do.
Right.
But apparently, no. This day and age, I'm so out of touch with the world, it's not funny.
Hey, when I was in school, we started learning pre-algebra in junior high, 7th and 8th grade. Now they're sticking pre-algebra on 4th graders. I
agree with you, Snobby. There are some things that should not be put into a mind that doesn't require it or can handle it. And things like that are just not necessary at that age. But apparently the world is moving so fast these days. Kids are learning it in the playground, whether we like it or not. And we better give them the right education. Otherwise, they'll be learning how to do things they shouldn't be doing.
Right. Well, I know from when I go shopping with Dusty, right, you can guarantee there is a mother or 2 or 3 that have got their little 2-3-year-old child in the seat of the trolley, cart, as the Americans like to call them, with a smartphone, watching something on the screen of the smartphone, rather than a book.
Yeah, electronic nanny.
You know what I mean? And I just think, like, what is that parent doing by letting just to keep the child quiet? Oh, give it a smartphone to watch something on there. Well, no, give it a bloody book or something, or
I will admit that I brought my daughter up watching TV.
Yeah,
Not
well,
because it was easier to have her under control. There were certain shows on TV I thought were very beneficial to children. One of them here, we call it Play School. I've never seen it anywhere else in the world. I know it used to be in England, but
yeah,
it's been in Australia for 50 years, and they're the programs that teach kids things
crayons.
while they're doing it. How to paint, how to play in the sand when they're like 1 and 2, and how to count, and how to do alphabet and all that kind of stuff. Because that, like Sesame Street, they constantly taught. She learnt to sing "Twinkle Twinkle Little Star" at the age of 18 months old from Sesame Street.
Yeah,
But my God, I wasn't even talking at that age.
What I had to help me when I started school was I had an older sister that was 8 years older than I am, and she would go to school, and her favorite thing was to come home and play teacher. And my brother would ignore her because he's only a year younger than she is. And so guess who got the brunt end of, oh, let's teach you how to do this. So I got lucky.
Yeah, I mean, I don't agree with some of these child programs today. I mean, we've had one in the UK called Teletubbies, right? They're sort of 4 characters, right?
My daughter hates that show.
Yeah, well, they can't even speak. They make these stupid, ridiculous noises. They're not using English at all. You know, I mean, like, how can a child listen to, you know,
they're for 6 to 1 year, mate. That's all Teletubbies ever were, 6 to 1 year. It's the fact that kids still get to watch them afterwards spins me out.
My kids weren't allowed to watch Teletubbies.
I didn't want my kids to watch SpongeBob.
No, that's adult cartoon. I give my daughter the tablet quite regularly, and she does puzzles and skill play. She's got one puzzle she likes to do is you've got to fill up the beaker without knocking it off a balance board. And you've got to put dots and levels and shit. And she actually has to solve the puzzle on how to make the water fall down into the beaker without falling up. And every time she gets it right, it goes to another puzzle she has to solve. And she loves that game.
I know what game you're talking about, and that game frustrates me to no end sometimes.
My daughter plays it quite well. The first game my daughter was taught to play on a tablet was Mahjong.
Yeah, yeah. And what I don't get is that, like, when I was a child and my kids were child, there weren't no mobile phones. There wasn't no what's them iPad things. There was nothing like that. It was a colouring book, you know, a reading book. So
and a Magna Doodle. We had Magna Doodle.
Right. So is it a case of you just move with the modern times and you allow that child to become more technology advanced, yeah, or do you keep them on the path that we was on, or I was on, or my kids were on? That no, there is none of that.
Both.
Or a bit of both.
You use the technology to educate your kid because the schools will. The schools here in Australia are giving kids Apple tablets in grade 3 to do their homework and their schoolwork on. All the apps that they use are going to be on those tablets. They don't have to worry about books and paperwork and everything else. You also give the kid the colouring book, and you also give the kid the writing book, and you also give the kid the novel and say, you know, let's do bedtime stories and all that kind of stuff. My daughter loves to read. My daughter loves to have bedtime stories, yet she still has the opportunity to play on her tablet. She still has the opportunity to play on a laptop where she does, like we got the ABC here, which is similar to the BBC for you guys. And I don't know what it is over in America. Probably the ABC as well. And that's mainly around for kids. They've got kids' games on there, activities, songs. They can watch all their favourite shows on it. She does it herself on the laptop. For the simple fact is, technology is everywhere. You can't get away from technology anymore. They need to know all about it. They need to keep up with it. They need to be there developing with it as part of their life. But I make sure my daughter's got all the old skills that you absolutely need, because when technology goes down, the electricity runs out and they can't get to their tablet, they're going to have to get a piece of paper and a pen out and write things down and add things up with their heads. And hold on, yeah, sorry, but we've got a blackout, but we've got a candle. You can sit there and read a book.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, like,
What happened?
well, that's what you said. If it does go down.
I did the same thing with my kids. They had video games, but they also had coloring books, etch-a-sketches, regular reading books, and stuff like that. And it all depends, because I had my stepkids here at the time too, and they were heavily into video games. And my son, he was allowed to play the video games, but he would sit there and watch them while reading a book.
Yeah. My daughter's got a library in her bedroom of all her nursery rhyme books and story books and favourite books and everything else, and she reads them.
Yep.
And we insist she learns to read, and we insist that she enjoys it, and we make it something that we get her to use her imagination when she's reading. And that's one of the things you can't do with a tablet. You cannot get your kid to have an imagination with a tablet because it gets it all done for them. You've got to give them a book and say, now imagine it, think about it. What would you like to, how would that? And then they do. They go into fantasy world. And that's why reading's always going to be better than anything you get on the tablet.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think board games for children now have come to an end?
Nope. We got
like
20 up there and my daughter plays with. No, we
That's
play
what
with.
I'm saying. There needs to be more interaction with a child when you're like playing Connect 4.
Yep.
Or you're playing
We got Connect 4. Yeah, we got Connect 4, we got Hungry Hippo, we're going to start playing Monopoly because we've got Australian Monopoly here. All these games will come out. My daughter does jigsaw puzzle with us.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, more interaction rather than a child just sitting there, on a laptop nowadays or something, come on, let's have a game of Connect 4. Let's have a game of Monopoly.
See this here, all this shelving back here, this is all her crafts. We've got so much junk of recycled and bits and pieces and all stuff that's craft. She wants to make something. She comes in here. She pulls out all the boxes. Have you ever seen the show Mr. Maker?
Nah.
It's an English show. It's an absolute brilliant British show. The guy's got a wall full of craft boxes, and he calls them doodle drawers, and he picks everything he needs to make anything out, and then he gives them projects to do, and he does it in front of them. My daughter loves that show. She comes in here and she goes into her doodle drawers and she pulls out the bits and pieces she wants to make. The other day she goes, I want to make an owl. So she gets out a toilet roll and she crushes it in the way that shapes so they've got owl ears and owl feet, and she sticks feathers on them and sticks these wobbly eyes we've got in there, and she makes stuff. I said to her, I'm not helping you with crafts anymore, sweetheart. I've done enough helping you with crafts. You've seen enough people do it. Go make me something. And she does. She'll cut things up and glue bits and pieces together. It looks absolutely ridiculous, but she's made something. Yeah. It's her using her imagination and using gifts that she's got and skills that we've developed in her to make her have that kind of thing.
You're not weighing in much here, Gil.
I'm just enjoying the conversation.
You're still here.
I am. I'm still here.
Hey,
you can't get in the way of a good conversation. I'm just soaking it all in.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, my kids are 28 and 29 now, so they're not children anymore. They are fully grown adults.
Yeah, but you've got kids.
No, not yet.
Well, when you do, I can guarantee you'll be just as involved in their life when you get the opportunity as you were with your kids, and you'll do exactly the same thing you did with them. You'll encourage them to have fun, and you encourage them to draw and do this and do that, and basically, I reckon you're looking forward to being a granddad myself.
I wasn't, but certainly now.
With my grandkids, what I like to do is buy them really noisy things and then send it home with their parents.
Oh yeah, I'm living to the day that my daughter has a child so that I can give her all the rattly and noisy, squealy, squeaky things that she annoyed the bejesus out of me when she was young.
My parents did that to me. Oh my gosh, my parents did that to me. My kids would come home with freaking drums and all sorts of electronic toys that made all sorts of noises.
And when you have grandkids, you will do the same thing because it is joyful to watch your kids go through the same hell that you went through.
Absolutely.
And paybacks are a bitch, right? Paybacks are a bitch, and that's all there is to it.
But the thing is, my son will go out himself, and he thinks it's funny because it annoys his wife a little bit, and he will buy the noisiest things he can find to bring home to the kids. So
the one thing I know is I don't give a shit how old you are or how old your kids are. You are still teaching them. And the one thing that giving your grandkids the noisiest toys you can, or filling them up for sugar that day so they can go home and annoy their parents, is you're teaching your kids patience.
No, I don't. I don't do the sugar thing. Actually, when my granddaughter comes here, especially in the summertime, her and my son either head for the raspberry patch over on that side or the blackberry patch on that side, or when they came last weekend, they headed out back to go pick some apples.
Yeah. I mean,
She thinks it's fun to come to Grandpa's house because Grandpa's got all kinds of good things growing in his yard.
yeah, but then you're teaching them good things growing in the yard is the thing to have, and then they grow up and they go, "Oh, I'd like to have an apple orchard like Grandpa had, or I'd like to have a raspberry patch like Grandpa had," and they do it.
Yep.
And that's where they get their sense of worth of nature. I mean, we grow our own vegetables when we get the time, and we don't have much time. In our backyard, we've got one patch right outside the back door that is turned into a veggie patch, and my daughter watches us go out there and water it. She's got her own pot plants that she goes and puts plants in, and she grows. She got 5 pots of strawberries she's been growing. It's these are things that she does.
A pot plant is totally different over here.
I know what he meant. Potted plant. I knew what he meant.
Pot
I also
plants.
know what
We put our plants in pots, okay, and we call them potted plants.
I know what you meant too, but I just had to say that because it was funny.
Yeah.
Over here, we just call them dope plants, and then like them around. Even the cops going, "You got dope plants, haven't you?" Yeah. Right.
Good morning, MD.
But my daughter, she does. She loves to dig, and she likes to dig in sand. Well, fine. Let's show her how to grow seeds and plant veggies or plant flowers or plant herbs or something. And she adores it. She loves it.
I think being a younger child was detrimental to me because my siblings on that end were so much older than me. I spent a lot of time alone, and I had, and I played outside by myself, and I explored by myself, and I had an imagination. It caused me to have an imagination and stuff like that. So, and then my little brother got the same thing because he's 9 years younger than I am. So,
yeah, I know. But I grew up alone. I had a brother, but then I had a really bad childhood. I won't go into it. And I basically grew up alone. I learned to be self-sufficient. I learned to be independent. I learned to have such an imagination you wouldn't believe. I had an imaginary friend, and I tested the water at my leisure. I wasn't goaded into doing things because the older kids said you should do it or this, that, and everything else. I did what I wanted to because I felt comfortable doing it when I felt like doing it, and I ended up growing up myself and being who I am today. The one thing I did learn in my life: school sucks. Learn yourself. Doesn't matter what they teach in school. School sucks. Learn yourself. That's the one thing I learned about in my life. But these days, looking at what my daughter does at school, they're so positive about how they go about teaching that it's a joy to sit there and watch my daughter talk about the fun she's having at school. Whereas I would have just, I wouldn't have had that much fun at school.
I never had fun at school. Not really.
No, because school was back in the day it was a factory.
Well,
pump the information in, pump the kid out.
No, because when I was in school, I liked to learn. And in kindergarten through 6th grade, you got the recesses and all that stuff. And half the time, I wouldn't even go out for recess. I would sit there and do my math. So
I loved to learn. I just didn't like being taught because they had such an attitude about things when they were teaching you. Did not make it a fun thing to do. But I love to learn. I've learned heaps of things since I left school.
Yeah.
Well, boys, I hate to do it. I gotta go.
Yeah, you got a show in an hour.
Oh, I see. The conversation was that good. You want to leave now?
No, I just learned so much. I just want to, use it practically in the world now.
Well, at least he's learned sarcasm.
We'll definitely be there for lunchtime shenanigans, Gil, and I'll look forward to having you 9 o'clock tonight.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Everybody out there, special edition tonight of Behind the Channels. It's a special Gil Skills edition. Gil is going to be the only guest up on panel for the 1 hour first part of the portion of the show. So tune
5
in.
minutes of talking about me, 55 minutes of Q&A and sarcasm.
Something like that.
No, it'd be what is it? 15 minutes talking about you, is it? Is that what you said? 15 minutes talking about
No, I
you?
said 5 minutes talking about. I was trying to be
5 minutes
sarcastic.
talking about you.
5 minutes talking about me, and then
And 55 minutes of people going, what the?
yeah, what the cheese?
But special edition
All right,
coming tonight, so look to
Take
get
care,
one
guys.
on, and he'll be on at noon for lunchtime shenanigans.
Lunchtime shenanigans. Be there. Or
Take it
be
easy, mate. It's been a pleasure.
Likewise.
See you later, Bob. Oh, and
Sorry, do not turn to your. That's good because I wasn't going to kiss you. I didn't give a shit what you said.
I can't. I don't know what it is, and I'm not the only one. That view right there just annoys the hell out of me. I think it's
Have
because-
you got a good look at this face? It annoys the hell out of me.
I think it's
Close up.
so close, and you have to be positioned just right. And
Damn, I put my camera just far enough away from me, and then you go and do that.
Oh, dear.
So how's that day been, folks?
I got up and got on this thing, so I ain't done nothing.
Ollie?
Me?
Yeah, how's your day been?
Yeah, we've been out and got quite a few confectionaries and chocolate and stuff for a little mail call for somebody, or a couple of people actually. Southern Belle. Oh, look at them! Look at that lot.
Yeah, those will last a while.
You don't even want to see my lot, mate. We went to the what we call here the Royal Adelaide Show. It's the big seasonal, once a year fair.
You guys chat. I'll be right back.
And it's rides and show bags and junk food and horse riding and chopping and pigs and cows and cake stalls and you name it. It's everywhere. It's 9 days of nothing but loud, abusive, and every night's fireworks. Loud, abusive, fat, drunken, loud, drunken, noisy people. Anyway. But yeah, we call it the fair. So you go there, you spend heaps of money, and you come home with heaps of junk. And I've got a show bag. It's like about this big by about, yeah, I'd say it'd be about that big, full of nothing but chocolate. We just bought home like 6 show bags, and we just go, yeah, right, take out all the paraphernalia and the junk and bits that we then just pour all that in a big show bag like this full of chocolate, apricots and chocolate bars and cherry ripes and crunchies and mate, chocolate peanuts. Oh God, I've been sick for the last week eating them, and I still haven't even put a dent in the bloody bag. There's so much there.
My wife bought me that because she thought I'd like something different, because normally she buys me variations of sweet tarts, which is my all-time favorite candy. And she bought it to be nice, and I'm munching on it here and there, but I'd prefer she just keep it on buying sweet tarts.
You know what I miss in my life? I used to do it on a religious basis once a week. When I got paid, I'd go buy a fruit tart.
Fruit tart?
A fruit tart. Basically, it's like a minced fruit inside a shortcake, a shortbread crust. Nothing on the top. It's just open fruit, and then there's like a sprinkle of sugar crystals sprinkled around the top of the tart on the crust, so it makes it a nice crusty thing. And it was a religious thing to go buy this thing, because there were like 7 different flavors of fruit. You'd go things from blueberry to apricot to pear to apple to boysenberry and each week I'd get a different one, and that was it. You go get a cup of tea and this thing, and you sit down every time I got paid. And I haven't done that in nearly 35 years. You just made me think of that when you said you like the fruit. What's names?
Yep.
Go see if we can find that.
Yep.
All right, big bones. Don't hurt yourself.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm actually going to off now. It's like 4:10 here now.
And JJ is back in the chat.
JJ. JJ's
Oh, is
back
he?
in
Oh,
there.
he might
I'm
come
going to
back
have
up there,
to. I'm gonna have to call it anyway. It's like 12:30 at night here, and I've got to get up and go to work tomorrow. So,
Alrighty. Well,
Yeah,
thank you,
joining.
thank you very much for having me. If I'm able to catch your special tomorrow, I will do so.
Okie dokie.
But yeah, it's like the middle of the morning for me, so I don't know whether I'll be snoozing or sitting here. Oh, and that, by the way, I think your letter was sent yesterday, Snobby.
I should be within a fortnight easily.
Just checking, because the wife put 2 new stamps on Dizzy's one I put out there this morning, so she obviously dealt with them.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
All right, mate. I just said if I get new ones, you can have one. And I threw one in there for Dusty as well. I know she doesn't really want one, but I threw one in there anyway.
Oh no, she does want one. She wants the stickers, just like me. You know, but she has many other things to do. You know, it's just not easy for her.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
She's got a life outside of us. How
Yeah,
dare
that's
she? How
right.
rude!
Yeah.
How rude to have a life.
I know, it's terrible.
All right, folks. Thanks for having me up, mate.
All right, thanks,
I
Gav.
appreciate it. I hope I haven't bored everyone with my twaddle.
Ah, that's
And
what this is all
I'll
about.
catch you on the next one.
Alrighty.
Yeah, see you, Gaffer.
Have a good one. The link is up there for anybody that wants to come in. I know Leah said she was going to come up once her hair dried, but she disappeared same time Ralph did. So
Oh, disappeared together.
That's been happening a little bit lately.
Oh. Oh, perhaps they've got their little private chat going.
Could be. Could be. Switch it over to this one.
Oh, no, that's terrible.
That's not too bad. Good to see the deer back here.
Yeah, yeah. Is that actually a real one?
Yes. I didn't shoot it, but it is a real one.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got what I described as I don't know, it's on the wall up there. Only a small one. It's like a cast. Probably like some sort of resin. Bit of Dusty's work it is.
Yeah, I had an elephant head like that.
Oh no, it's not. It's got the little horns on it and all that. It's only very small.
Yeah. The
Just a
elephant
bit of wool.
wasn't life size. It was probably like that, yay big.
Oh,
but I know what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, I've got that. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's been a great coffee chat today, I think.
Yes, sir. Well, they usually are good ones. So.
Yeah.
So. Pretty good. And if anybody else, as I said, wants to come up, click on the link. If nobody else wants to come up and chat, then we'll probably close her down soon.
Yeah, I mean, I've had enough now. 3 hours.
Yep.
In all fairness with you, it's like 4:15 here now.
Yeah, time to get on with the day. Like I said, I'm gonna whenever I get off here, then I'll end up going to Gil's stream, and then I'll start my day on doing. I gotta at least go to the dump. I don't know what else I'm gonna do today, but I'm at least gonna get that done. And
yeah.
So other than that, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Oh, JJ's going home now. Not sure where he is, but he's headed home now. So. Oh, what a day, what a day. But yes, I really like that plate, Nobby. That's greatly appreciated.
Yeah, no worries. Look, if me and Dusty didn't want to do it, we wouldn't do it, would we?
No.
You know.
It is good. Right now, I don't have any place to put it here, so I got it wedged up on the top of my computer screen back there against the wall.
Yeah, you can have it wherever you like. It's yours.
Yeah, get her done, Granny. She ain't doing nothing today, it says. Oh, you sick? That's too bad. I
Mm.
didn't feel good the other night, but once I went to sleep and woke up, it was fine. So
I mean, it's just my backside. That's all. Sitting here on this sofa like this for 3 hours is. I need a bit more of a comfortable chair. need a better setup.
Shernette's working, so she can't come up. Nikki Pink disappeared. Supposed to be working today, but had to take my wife to an appointment, and it's wet out, so I'm playing hooky. Yeah, it's not cold out, but it's damp out today.
I mean, I've got some things to do. I've got where I feed the birds out the front here. They do make a bit of a mess on the floor, and that all needs tidying up. And I need to refeed the feeders. They need some more feeding them. Because just sitting here, I can see them. I'm like 6 foot away from them. And, you know, I get some wonderful birds feeding on them.
Pull that over, and then I can take it to the dump as recycling.
You might need that one day.
I got plenty of cardboard that shows up here. I got your address saved out over there, so.
Yeah. I'll try and write it how it should be presented on like an envelope, you know.
Carol's rearranging her computer. She's been here. She's been listening.
Carol, yeah. I mean, she might well go live in a bit, mightn't she?
Maybe. Don't know. Carol, you going live today?
I hope she does.
I was on in the chat the other night when you were there, Snobby, but you couldn't see the chat, so you didn't see me, but you had some other name up there underneath Snobby.
No.
Yeah, you did. You had something up there. It was
it might have changed.
It was on You Dizzy's show, not You Dizzy. What the hell's his name? The guy with the guitar.
Oh no, yeah. I'll put hashtag You Dizzy 1969.
Nope, that wasn't it. It wasn't You Dizzy's channel. It was
Days.
Hazy Days. Yes, you would put
yeah.
something up there, and I put up there, and I said, I wrote what your name was, and I said, looks a little snobby to me, but you didn't see it, and they didn't highlight it. So, good morning, 870 Polo.
That's the guy I'd like to come over to your variety show.
Yeah,
because he's talented.
The problem is when we're going to do the variety show, I'm not sure what time we're going to do it, and it could be in the middle of the night for him.
Yeah, I mean, they do their own thing usually he does his thing on a Saturday, which is afternoon for him, but like 8 p.m. for us. And then Hazy does his thing on a Sunday, which is like 8 p.m. for us and late for them. No, still early for them, you know. And I was on that Sunday night, and I think it's from about 8 p.m. for us till like 2 o'clock, I think, in the morning. You know, but he doesn't. He just drops people out the panel and brings someone up because at times I think there was about 30, 31 in the chat, and you know, there's people wanting to get on the panel. It just drops you out, you know, no remorse, nothing, you know. Then they drop that person out. Give everybody like a little chance.
Well, I think I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Take that, what, 3:30, 3.5.
Yeah, which is normally about what the chats are on. One of these days I'm going to plan on it, though, and I'm going to get up, and I'm actually going to get on the computer at 7, and I'm not getting off until Gill Skills goes live, because I just want to try a 5-hour chat to see how it goes.
Yeah.
But I don't know when that is yet because tomorrow morning I really don't want to get up early, but I will. I know Friday morning I'm sleeping in because I don't have to do coffee chat. Well, I don't have to do it anytime, but I don't do coffee chat on Friday, so Friday's going to be my sleep in day. And you watch, I'll be up at 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping that I may break my record on views today. Yeah, I'm fingers crossed that I've broken 500 views on a video that's been up just a week, I think, week and a bit.
Yep.
So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed I've done it today. If it ain't, maybe tomorrow, but it just seems to climb and it's climbing, and I'm quite happy with that.
Yep. Yeah, I would be too. I've never had any hit 500. The most I've got is 200 and something. And that was actually a live stream, so I don't.
Yeah, I think it's over a week now. It's been on, and I'm quite pleased with that. I mean, I know it's a 54-minute video, but I'm not guaranteed that everybody that's watched it's watched it for 54 minutes. But
Right.
it don't matter to me. It's just like the view count that it's got, and it might be just showing me something. Just a small something of what content I should be doing. Mixing it with some other things.
Yep. Yeah, then that's what you need to pay attention to is the watch count, because then it tells you what people like and what they don't. Yeah. Unfortunately, my view count is normally right around the same for every video, so I still haven't figured out what people want to watch and what they don't, because it's about the same view count for everything. So I'm continuing with whatever I feel like putting up, I will put up. My cooking video actually got the same amount of views as normal, right around the 30 mark, but it got way more comments than I normally get on the cooking.
Yeah, which means a lot, don't they? They do mean a lot.
Yep. So.
Yeah. I mean, I think, it was 3 comments that I had on it that I never knew were there, right? And you feel terrible because unless I've gone back and checked it, which I know I'm going to have to do on a more regular basis, there was 3 there, and they weren't all in a line. They were staggered out throughout the whole of the comments. And, I've had to sort of say, like, sorry for the late reply, but I've had no notification of this comment. Now, had I not gone back and checked, I would have never known it was there.
I don't ever apologize for a late reply, because I know that everybody out there knows that we don't always get to see every comment when it pops out. And I know this because I've commented on other videos and then not had a reply for, 10, 11 days. And then all of a sudden they go, oh, this guy. So they'll send out a comment. So if I miss somebody, I'm sorry, but I'm not really going to apologize because it does get missed. I mean, it just happens.
I'll just do it. It's a 5-letter word. Yeah, it's a 5-letter word.
Yeah, Mike, it's a good recipe. That's actually the first time I ever did it with asparagus and Swiss. I've done asparagus and Swiss in chicken before, but I've never done it in the pork, and I just thought it would be a light tasting meal. Normally when I do that, I do spinach leaves and cheddar, which is really good too.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even think I've ever put an asparagus in my mouth. I just don't like, I don't know, the look of them. People say they're beautiful.
My asparagus was when I was younger. My mother had us try to eat canned asparagus, and that's just the nastiest thing you'll ever stick in your mouth. And so it took me a long time, but my daughter liked asparagus, so I kept trying different ways to cook it for her. And then each week I tried it, I would taste it, and either I'd like it or I don't. Well, if you bake it in something like that, it's got a really good flavor. And if you're going to eat asparagus on its own, do it, just lightly steam it so that it still has a little bit firminess to it. And then put a bunch of butter on it. It's pretty good that way.
Yeah. I feel we're gonna, Dusty's gonna do that with a pork loin. We're gonna probably not put asparagus in it. Like you say, we'd probably put the spinach and cheese or something
Yep.
inside.
Yeah, you can stuff it.
And, you know, because the pork loins, you know, they're a good foot long.
Yeah, I cut mine in
You
two
know.
and made 2 meals for us out of it.
And we'll probably do exactly the same. Freeze one of them, cook it, but freeze it, because we've got one of them heat sealing
vacuum
packs, you know.
Yep.
Not quite learned how to use it properly.
But as I said in the video, when you're doing your sealing, if you take, and you can do it 2 ways, you can throw it in the microwave, but sometimes you can't quite get how long it is. So if you just throw it, the whole bag, right into a pot of boiling water, okay, it won't burn your food if you overcook it. It doesn't dry it out because it's got all the juices sealed inside the bag that can't escape and everything.
Yeah.
So you just throw it in the boiling water until it's done, let it boil. I mean, and once it's done, it's cooked just perfect. And so that's
we've just got
the vacuum sealer anyways. I mean, there's I know how long it takes to microwave them, so I can throw it in the microwave and microwave it and it come out perfect. But a lot of things, if you haven't done it before, then you don't know how long. You'll end up either it'll still be frozen in the middle, or it'll, you know, burn it from the microwave. So if you're gonna do it, I say boiling water works the best for reheating it.
Yeah, well, that's definitely the way we'd do it. Once I've learned to actually master the heat sealing shrinking thing.
Yeah, it depends on what type you have. Like mine has 2 heat sealers on it. One where you pull the bag out, because mine actually holds the bag stuff inside of it. And when you pull it out, the length you want it, you flip this little tab down and a red light blinks. And then when the red light stops blinking, it's sealed. And then you just tip that up, pull it another inch, and then slide the cutter across it. And then you go into the vacuum part of it once you filled it, and you can either you hit seal and it'll either just seal it, or you can hit vacuum seal and it will vacuum it. But then if you hit seal halfway through the vacuum, it will stop sucking right then and seal it up. And I use that one for, like, because I will seal up soups and stews. And once it squeezes and I see liquid start going up, I'll hit it so that it's, because if your liquid goes up and through, it won't seal it correctly. So
yeah. I think I was expecting too much out of the sucking part of it, you know, and perhaps I was getting it right, but you know, I was expecting it to really shrink over the stuff, like sometimes you see in the supermarkets where it's real tight over the item. I don't think it gets that tight.
You can, but what you do is you take whatever item you're using and you stick it in the freezer just long enough so it gets firm. And then you can let that vacuum run and it will seal it right up tight, just like it was in the store. But you have to let it get firm first, or otherwise you're going to squish everything up.
Yeah, well, I was just doing some fresh sardines for the dead baits for the pike season that's coming up.
Yeah, no, Mike.
It was actually
do all the cooking. I do some of the cooking at home, but I do all the cooking at work. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that's where I got into the vacuum sealing, because at work I come up with an idea because of where the caloric intake is at a certain thing, and you have to give different portion size. I come up with the idea of put all the portions they need, put everything into one bag, seal it up, and freeze it. And that way if somebody else comes in and they don't know, you know, they don't have to sit around and weigh out 3 ounces of beef and all this stuff. Everything's all prepared for them. All they got to do is pull it out, microwave it, boil it, whatever. They got the whole meal right there, with the exception of like potatoes, because those don't come out too good if they're frozen. So you might have to make some potatoes or something, or like a salad you can't freeze. But normally there's a whole meal there that they can just pull out and just add a salad or add some potatoes and just deal with it. All right, folks. I think that's the end of my smoke, or my fag, as Snobby would say. I'm gonna call it. I know there's 10 in here, and I hate to do it with 10 people in here, but at some point you got to say when. I got a couple things to do. Gil Skills will be on in half an hour, so I highly recommend everybody go on over and see that. It's Gil Skills Live. He's got 2 channels. Remember, he's got 2 channels now. And head on over there. I do some occasionally, but my wife is so good at it. She does most of it. See, I'm a better cook than my wife is.
I never heard nothing.
But I don't complain because my wife is a good cook, and I'm one of those people. I'll eat whatever she puts in front of me, and it frustrates her because I'll eat it and then she'll say, "How was it?" And I'll say, "Well, I don't like this particular thing," and she'll get mad. Well, why didn't you tell me? Because you was cooking it, and obviously you like it, so
yeah,
you can't.
Yeah.
You know, you can't just cook for the other person in the house. You got to cook for yourself too. So,
Yeah.
woo, hunting and stuff with J&J got Royal Mail. So we'll be looking
Has
forward.
he?
Yeah, that's what he says in the chat. So we'll be looking forward to that later.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I got mail. Ooh. Yeah. That was JJ's one was actually done on the machine as well. And it's not. You'll see. If he's not, I'm not saying too.
Yeah, we'll see. So, all right, folks, I'm going to head on out. It's been 3.5 hours, so I'm going to head on over here. I'll see you all, some of you at Gill Skills. If not, hopefully you'll join me for Behind the Channels tonight at 9 o'clock, where we are doing a special edition Gill Skills version, and where Gill Skills is our special guest tonight. So I will see you all then. Everybody have a good day. Once again, Snobby, always enjoy you up here with me for morning coffee.
Thank you, sir.
And I will see you now.
Chat.
If I'll see you around, if not, I'm sure I'll see you for tomorrow morning's coffee chat.
Bye for now.
Everybody have a good day.